Chapter 640. Below the Weibo post, there was a picture of a private message. Mr. Pippi, I'm here to contribute to your blog. Give me a thick password. Didn't the incident in Shizhou blow up recently? I'm a local medical staff, but I won't go into detail. Didn't a group of experts come over? The big shots of Western medicine from all over the country, including respiratory and infectious diseases. Many of the leading figures in Chinese medicine have also come, all of whom are difficult to hire even for powerful businessmen. What surprised me the most was that there was a celebrity in the group of experts. Forgive me for being blunt, but aren't celebrities just entertainers? Sneaking into such a group of experts is really an insult to the efforts of the experts, and it's also a betrayal of the trust that the public has in the experts. However, what I'm happy to see is that the group of experts are very disdainful of her. After all, she's young and incompetent. She's also very funny and always wants to be in the limelight. She loves to show off in front of the experts. The experts didn't say anything for the sake of her grandfather, but her behavior is really disgusting. Of course, this so-called submission was not self-directed and self-acted by him. He tagged a few trending hashtags and then posted it on Weibo. He then used a few other accounts to repost it. He had been running Weibo for a long time, and each account had at least 100,000 followers. Several accounts jointly reposted it, and because it was tagged with a trending hashtag, the amount of exposure instantly increased. As he had expected, this entry point was really tricky. It was peak hour at this time, and the traffic was astonishing. When the netizens saw this Weibo post, they were slightly relieved, but their anger was ignited again. I vomited. I knew this would happen. What kind of behavior is this? I think she's more like a B*TCH. The experts are ostracizing her? Is she worthy? I think she's the one harassing the experts. They're working so hard to save lives and heal the injured, but she's great. Does she think she's there to perform on stage? I strongly suggest kicking Xiangyi out of the group of experts. What if she affected the mood of the experts by leaving her inside? Why is she getting involved in a matter of life and death? She's simply disregarding human life. There were even some who directly copied and pasted a sentence in Xiangyi v are human blood buns tasty. Looking at the angry faces of the netizens, Skinner smiled triumphantly in front of the screen. His account had a function that allowed him to monetize his traffic. The number of clicks on his advertisements and the tips from his fans were all his sources of income. In short, the more people who read his Weibo, the more money he could earn. This time it could be said that he had earned a lot. The spicy tutu girls held the principle of believing in Xiangyi. They all expressed that they did not believe in rumors and did not spread rumors. They were very calm. What kind of storms have they not seen before? It was just a small scene. Peace was enough. However, the fans of several popular actresses took the opportunity to add insult to injury. They couldn't wait for Xiangyi to disappear. Wow, how does it feel to have your house collapse? I bet 50 cents that within 3 days, Xiangyi will become a paste. Her family doesn't dote on her, her boyfriend doesn't love her, and she's even hated by others. Ayaya, her charming image really collapses just like that. The netizens mocked him mercilessly. At 8 o'clock sharp, the official media suddenly posted on Weibo. Nanqing Daily V. Thank you to the ethnic entrepreneurs and individuals of Nanqing for your monetary and material donations. Love is boundless. Please pass it on. There was a long list of people who were at the top of the list. They were none other than Xiangyi's uncle, and Shui. Chapter 641. Shui Shiguang Studio donated 50 million yuan. Sangchen Linchen Law Firm donated 50 million yuan. Xiangli Nanqing Biomedical Research Institute donated 40 million yuan and medical supplies. Xiangqi Hades Design Studio donated 30 million yuan and women's products. Xiangyu Logic Esports Team donated 30 million yuan and food supplies. The amazing amount of donations instantly caused an uproar on the internet. Oh my god, Xiangyi's brothers are so amazing. Shui is so caring, sob. I thought he was cold and aloof, but I didn't expect him to be such a gentle person. Am I the only one who noticed Uncle Xiangfeng? He donated 100 million yuan. 100 million yuan. Wow, I'm so impressed. How dare you treat the domineering CEO as if he's invisible? So far the Xiang family and Shui had not made any comments on social media, but they had taken action to support the Xizhou area. On the other hand, many celebrities and internet celebrities had only spoken out but not done anything substantial. The netizens were suddenly enlightened and sobered up. Their family has donated more than the entire entertainment industry combined. I'm asking, who else? Do those who said that Xiangyi's family and boyfriend didn't do anything feel embarrassed? They've been slapped in the face so quickly, like a tornado. Although celebrities and internet celebrities have no obligation to donate, and we shouldn't criticize or condemn them, we must praise the Xiang family's brothers and sure sway. That way, we won't disappoint those who truly want to do charity. Hey, you guys forgot about the domineering CEO uncle again. Xiaofan. It's a story about 6 people, but I'm the only one who doesn't deserve to have a name. The netizens laughed and joked about Xiaofan being ignored. Soon, there were all kinds of jokes and emojis. The spicy tutu fans also found a strong point to counterattack. What? Our tutu's image has collapsed and they didn't do anything? Are you kidding me? Please, our tutu is on the front line of the fight against the epidemic, okay? What? Our tutu's brother and boyfriend didn't do anything? Are you kidding me? Open your eyes and look at the world. Do you really think that the hundreds of millions of donations and supplies are fake? By the way, your housekeeper didn't donate a single cent. She must be having a hard time. Come on, continue to work hard as a worker in the entertainment industry. Our tutu is outstanding. She also has a family that dotes on her and a boyfriend that dotes on her. I'm going to piss you off. Piss you off. The opposing fans. F***CK. Even if we can't afford to offend them, can't we just hide? How the F***CK is this black? Only those who had been instigated by the internet celebrity peeler were still insisting that Xiangyi had been ostracized. In their eyes, seeing was believing. They had seen the screenshot of the submission with their own eyes. As for whether the news was true or false, and how much was true or false, they didn't care at all. Some of them had nothing better to do and even mocked him in a sarcastic manner. This is probably the mentality of the more you lack something, the more you want to show it off. A certain female celebrity has embarrassed herself in the group of experts, so she has to make up for it in other ways. Ha 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 ha, have you forgotten about the human blood steamed buns? Do you think the internet has no memory? At this moment, on the news channel of Xizhou TV station, the host and the reporter connected to the scene and live-streamed the situation of the group of experts to the public. It's break time now, we can see that the experts are, The reporter was in a trance. Fighting to take in disciples? Chapter 642. The host was obviously stunned for a second, but he managed to maintain his composure. Smiling politely, he said, "What a surprise. I didn't expect the experts to have such a scene. I believe the audience in front of the screen must be as curious as I am. Who is the disciple that the experts are vying to accept?" The reporter said, "I'm afraid you won't believe it, but it's a young girl in her early 20s. The cameraman at the scene changed the camera angle and shot a panoramic view. The slender and fair young girl was surrounded by a group of experts who were of the same age as her grandparents. They finally had some time to rest, but not only did they not make use of this precious time to rest, they were even more hostile than when they were discussing her condition just now. "Xiangyi, traditional Chinese medicine is good, but Western medicine isn't bad either. Come, learn respiratory medicine from me. Don't listen to his nonsense. The infectious diseases department is the best. Forget it. She's a good seedling for traditional Chinese medicine. Why are you Western medicine experts trying to get her? That's not how you poach people." The young girl looked confused and her long eyelashes fluttered. Does she have the halo of wanting to accept her as a disciple as soon as they meet her? The crowd was arguing incessantly, and the reporters and cameraman were in a mess. The host was dumbfounded. "No, you experts can get any kind of student or disciple you want, but why are you all trying to accept Xiangyi as your disciple?" The reporter came back to his senses and stepped forward to shove the microphone in front of Xiangyi. "Miss Xiang, tell us how you feel now." Xiangyi said, I'm quite confused." "Miss Xiang, do you have a favorite teacher?" The reporter was eager to stir up trouble. "Which expert's disciple would you like to be?" In an instant, the eyes of the experts were as sharp as knives as they shot daggers at the reporters. Xiangyi answered humbly and politely, "Everyone here can be my teacher. Be it medical skills or other aspects, I still have a lot to learn from my seniors." The young girl's answer was appropriate and obedient, and the experts liked her very much. Everyone was looking at her kindly as if they were looking at their own child. What if you have to choose one? The reporter continued to stir up trouble. Xiangyi blinked and said, "Actually, I've already chosen 3. The reporter, Elder Feng, Elder Yun, and Elder Jing smiled faintly. I am her great master. I am not talented, but I am the 2nd master of my beloved disciple. Humph, I am the 3rd master of my obedient disciple. Do you have a problem with that?" The reporter was dumbfounded. Before coming here, he had also learned about the lives of these big shots. The president of the Wuxia Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, the heir of the Huichun Hall Medical Hall, and the chief master of the Jishur Hall Medical Hall were all divine doctors of traditional Chinese medicine. But Xiangyi actually bowed 3 times in one go? Unexpectedly, in the next second, the others were unhappy. "You 3 old fogies. You're just the early bird that got here first. She has already acknowledged 3 masters. What's wrong with acknowledging a few more? In my opinion, traditional Chinese medicine is the body and Western medicine is the application. The combination of traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine is the best choice." Reporter, ? The host, ? Where? Was this a recruitment event or a large-scale cabbage-picking event? Could it be that the big shots in the medical field in the country were all picked by Xiangyi to be her disciple? At this moment, Elder Feng said leisurely, "Only children make choices. My dear disciple, you might as well choose all of them." Chapter 643. Xiangyi was speechless. She had an innocent look on her face as she didn't expect things to turn out this way. However, the other experts agreed. "I don't mind. Yes, we'll just accept her together. We'll combine Chinese and Western medicine, extract the essence, and discard the dross. We'll use modern scientific methods to verify the scientificity and accuracy of the 2 types of medicine. That's the only way we won't waste a good seedling." Xiangyi said, "Senior Zai, young lady, it's too rushed today. I'll give you a gift later." One of the experts yelled, and the others immediately expressed that they must prepare a gift for Xiangyi. The atmosphere at the scene was joyous and harmonious. Everyone was immersed in the joy of receiving their little disciple, which relieved a lot of their stress and fatigue. Xiang Yin was calm and composed, which was rare for him to not throw a tantrum. In fact, he knew in his heart that on one hand, these experts were teasing him, but on the other hand, they really thought highly of Xiangyi. Perhaps, my tutu will have great achievements in medicine. As her grandfather, I just need to pave the way for her. She'll have to walk her own path in the future. The reporter said in a trance. "This is the situation at the scene, host." The host said in confusion. "Okay." This segment of the report was live-streamed by the TV station and was seen by countless viewers. Some commenters immediately edited the video and posted it on various social media platforms. The netizens clicked on it to take a look. All of them. I was dumbfounded on the spot. How can you become a disciple in such a way? Ha ha ha, some people who ridiculed Xiangyi for being ostracized by the experts are hilarious. She's clearly the favorite of everyone. This scene also became a must-have video in the annual face-slapping moments video collection. Meanwhile, the netizens who heard that Xiangyi loved to be in the limelight and was ostracized were dumbfounded. This. Why is this completely different from what we imagined? The attitude of the person involved was the best way to clarify things. The rumors were dispelled on their own. The public opinion was reversed. The netizens began to question whether the fan submissions of the Internet Celebrity Peeler account were real or fake. This is clearly a baseless rumor. To be honest, anyone who can come into contact with the team of experts would probably have to sign a confidentiality agreement. How could they expose this online? If he really hated Xiangyi, why would he be willing to accept her as his disciple? Regardless of whether it's medicine or any other industry, they won't accept disciples casually, okay? On the other hand, the spicy tutu girls were very peaceful. Unlike the fans of other families, who would spread rumors with their mouths but do everything they could to refute them, Spicy Tutu's fans were very Buddhist. Slandering our sister E? Sure, do whatever you want. If we don't slap Blackie's face swollen, it'll be our loss. Seeing that the situation had taken a turn for the worse, the Spicy Tutu fans started spamming emojis of lotus flowers and world peace. Who would have thought that their actions would go out of the entertainment circle? The fans were all amused by Spicy Tutu's actions. Ha ha ha, Xiangyi's fans are funnier than her. I've never seen such a lazy fan. Are you a bunch of middle-aged men? Have some self-awareness and go fight. What kind of treasure is this fan? The emojis are so cute. Can I join Spicy Tutu on the spot? Just send me more emojis? At the same time, Shui stepped into Nanjing Mental Hospital. Chapter 644. It was summer in Southern City, and the temperature was scorching hot. However, perhaps it was because of the greenery in the hospital, the moment she entered, she felt the temperature drop by a few degrees. Please sign the visitor's registration form. The girl at the front desk recognized Shui and couldn't help but take a few more glances. The man was tall and well-proportioned, with broad shoulders and long legs. He wore a black silk shirt, looking casual and casual. The gold-rimmed glasses softened the sharpness in the man's eyes. Every inch of his face seemed to be softened by a filter. When he lowered his eyes to sign, his black eyelashes cast a faint shadow. His hand was cursive, and his strokes were strong. Done. He pushed the form back. This way, please. The mental hospital was privately operated and the service was excellent. The nurse led the way for Shui and they arrived in front of a ward. This is Miss Qin Wanyan's ward. If you need anything, just press the bell. Shui nodded in thanks. After the nurse left, he raised his hand and knocked twice on the door. The door was pulled open, revealing a haggard face. Qin Wanyan was no longer as beautiful as before. Her hair, which had been permed and dyed too many times, was no longer cared for. It was as messy as weeds, and the ends of her hair had faded to an ugly yellow. She had lost a lot of weight. When she saw Shui, her eyes shone brightly. Shui. She was surprised and overjoyed. Then she asked carefully, Are you here to save me? The man was calm. Good morning, Miss Qin. You must be here to save me. Qin Wanyan tried to grab Shui's wrist, but the man evaded her. She missed, but she wasn't discouraged. She begged humbly, Please save me. I'm not crazy. I'm really not. I'm just locked up here. Ever since she suggested to the system to let Xiangyi complete the mission, everything had changed. She was no longer the chosen one who was about to transmigrate. Instead, she had become an exile from the system. Her career was ruined, and her family and friends had all fallen out with her. She could feel her life slipping away. Every time she woke up, she seemed to have aged a few years. However, that wasn't the scariest thing. The scary thing was that everyone in this building was mentally ill. For example, there would be all kinds of strange noises in the corridor every night. For example, the patient next door would suddenly knock on her door and let out a strange laugh. Qin Wanyan was about to go crazy from the double torture of her body and mind. Shui said, Let's talk. If you can give me the information I want, I'll consider helping you. A few minutes later, in the garden of the hospital, Qin Wanyan was wrapped in a thick knitted coat and a blue and white hospital gown. She trembled and said, Do you know? I'm a fast transmigrator. The kind that allows one to travel to another world. Two patients who were taking a walk passed by. Someone laughed and laughed. Look, she's mentally ill. Another person licked his lollipop. Yeah, he's pretty sick. Qin Wanyan. Is there anything more ironic than being called a lunatic by a lunatic? She smiled bitterly. Forget it, I know you won't believe me. Unexpectedly, the man said lightly. I believe you. Qin Wanyan! Exclamation point. Her eyes were filled with ecstasy, like a drowning person who had caught the last straw. Really? Shui looked at her, his eyes especially gentle under the warm sunlight. Yes. Qin Wanyan sobbed. The system is a liar. Everything is a scam. Chapter 645. She was overjoyed, like a drowning person who had found her last life-saving straw. Really? Shui looked at her, his eyes especially gentle under the warm sunlight. Yes. Qin Wanyan sobbed. The system is a liar. It's all a scam. Unexpectedly, the man said calmly. I believe you. Qin Wanyan was speechless. An hour later, Qin Wanyan was crying her eyes out. Shui was indifferent and had no intention of giving her a tissue or a handkerchief. Qin Wanyan was speechless. Why did she always run into such iron-willed men? I've arranged a sanatorium for you, but before that, please come with me. Qin Wanyan nodded frantically. As long as Shi Sui could save her, she was willing to do anything. As for the unspoken rules, if Shi Sui wanted to sleep with her, she would be more than willing. The man didn't take her back to the manor, but to Xing Chen Entertainment. Even if Xiangyi didn't know, he had arranged for 2 cars, one in front and one at the back, to avoid being in a confined space with any woman. Seeing a familiar figure, he gestured for the driver to stop by the roadside. He got out of the car and walked to the side of the road. Before he could say anything, Xiang Feng shouted from the tree, "You came at the right time. Sui Sui, give me a plastic bag. There are so many peaches, it's a pity not to pick them all." Xiang Feng's special assistant, who was dressed in a suit and leather shoes, was standing next to him, but at this moment, he looked like he was about to collapse. Why was their domineering CEO so rustic? He climbed trees faster than a monkey. He couldn't stop him no matter how hard he tried. Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. If I remember correctly, this is a green fruit tree. So, the green fruit tree is for viewing, not for you to climb up and pick. After a pause, Shi Sui added, "Of course, to put it simply, these peaches don't taste good." Xiang Feng was speechless for a few seconds, then silently slid down from the tree. He muttered softly, "Why didn't you say so earlier? I'm itching to death." Suddenly, Qin Wanyan got out of the car and met Xiang Feng's gaze. Xiang Feng, "Oh? Is this your grandmother? Why does it look different from before?" To Qin Wanyan, these words were like a knife stabbing into her heart. Shi Sui turned to Qin Wanyan and asked, "No reaction?" Qin Wanyan shook her head. "No." From that day onwards, the system disappeared. However, this did not mean that it had given up on her. Instead, it was slowly erasing her soul. It was like a wild beast that had caught its prey and was not in a hurry to eat it. Instead, it was slowly toying with it, watching its prey suffer, go mad, collapse and despair. Shi Sui pondered for a moment and asked the driver to send her away. Xiang Feng asked dumbly, "What are you two doing? Why do you keep saying things I don't understand?" Shi Sui did not answer but asked, "Have any strange people approached you recently?" Xiang Feng rubbed his chin and thought for a while, then said, "No." The assistant on the side reminded him appropriately, "Mr. Xiang, the college student who tried to blackmail you this morning, the clerk who poured coffee on you last night, and the waiter who crawled under your bed in the hotel. I think they're all quite strange." Xiang Feng, "Ha ha ha ha, don't you think they're fun? Don't panic. Take a picture and post it on your WeChat moments to entertain my good friends." The assistant, Shi Sui, smiled faintly. So many people. Chapter 646. Hence, every time a person appeared, Shi Sui would compile a summary. Before Xiangyi came back, he had counted a total of 17 people. And now, Xiang Feng seemed to have encountered the same situation. However, he was slow to react and hadn't realized it yet. With a rough idea in mind, Shi Sui looked at his watch and said calmly, "It's about time, I should go back and feed Sister Yi's chickens, ducks and geese." Xiang Feng's assistant was dumbfounded. Feed the chickens? Feed the ducks? Feed the geese? He really wanted to shake Shi Sui's shoulders and yell, "Shi Sui, wake up! You shouldn't be using your hands to do such a thing." Xiang Feng's assistant looked at Xiang Feng with some hope in his eyes. He was hoping that Xiang Feng would dissuade Shi Sui, but to his surprise, Xiang Feng nodded in agreement. "No matter how poor we are, we can't let the chickens, ducks, and geese suffer. Feed them more, we can't let them starve and lose weight. When Xiangyi comes back, I'm still waiting to eat the big plate of chicken, fruit-scented roast duck, and marinated goose." Xiang Feng's assistant was dumbfounded. Is this what they mean by, if you're not a family, you won't enter the same house? The discussion of the experts came to an end, and the next step was the clinical treatment. Xiang Yi had been working under Xiang Yi's grandfather for a few days, and her performance made the experts. Oh no, the masters increasingly pleased with her. The more they saw her, the more they liked her. She was a woman of few words, diligent, and professional. Be it the accumulation of theoretical knowledge or the practice of clinical diagnosis and treatment, they couldn't find any fault with her. If one were to pick bones in an egg and find fault with it, TSK. That was because they had discovered the treasure too late. After learning that Xiangyi was now an artist, many masters were tempted to recruit her. It was rare for them to have a moment of rest, so they tried to poach her. "Young lady, do you want to go to graduate school with me?" "Hey, my dear disciple, I have a spot for you for a master's degree. Why don't you come with me when I visit a foreign medical school next time?" Xiangyi turned down their good intentions one by one. The masters could only wring their hands and sigh. There was nothing they could do. They could only watch as the little girl put on the protective suit and entered the isolation ward again. Over the past few days, everyone had to maintain a high level of concentration at all times. This was a test for the older experts, but Xiangyi was very adaptable and did not feel tired at all. Moreover, the amount of sleep he got every day was only 3 to 4 hours. "This little girl is quite stubborn." An expert sighed and lamented. Everyone felt their hearts ache at the same time. But at the same time, he was gratified. It can be said that we have a successor. A new patient was sent to the ward. His symptoms were relatively mild. After Xiangyi felt his pulse, she had a rough idea. "In addition to the usual treatment, I'll prescribe 3 doses of medicine for him first," Xiangyi instructed the nurse. Through the protective mask, her voice sounded a little muffled, but it was enough for people to recognize her. The man on the hospital bed asked with uncertainty, "Are you Vase?" Cough, "Xiangyi?" "Xiangyi." "Yes." Through the protective goggles, the young man met a pair of extremely beautiful eyes. His heartbeat sped up, and he said with a cold face, "I don't want you to treat me." His voice was very loud, and the patients in the isolation ward all looked over at him. Thinking of the comments he saw online, the man instantly found his confidence. "You're so young, and you're even a woman. I don't feel at ease letting you treat me." Xiangyi understood. "Are you doubting my medical skills?" Chapter 647. Her tone was calm and monotonous. The man couldn't figure out what she was thinking and felt uneasy. What should he do? What if Xiangyi insisted on treating him? It was said on the internet that Xiangyi was just a vase fairy, a second-generation doctor who relied on her grandfather's identity as a famous doctor to get into the group of specialists. He was really unlucky to have contracted this disease and met a doctor with poor medical skills like Xiangyi. "Anyway, I'll never let you treat me. Please wait a moment. I'll get someone to call another doctor over." The man's hysterical yelling was in stark contrast to the girl's gentle and calm voice. The man widened his eyes in disbelief when he heard Xiangyi's words. Ha! Why was Xiangyi different from what he had imagined? On the bed next door was a young female university student who had been admitted in the same batch. Her thoughts were completely different from the man's. Xiangyi was so young, but she was able to get into the group of specialists. What did that mean? It meant that Xiangyi was so amazing at such a young age. She immediately raised her hand enthusiastically. "Sister E. Ahem, Dr. Xiang, can you take a look at me?" Xiangyi nodded and walked to her bed. The man secretly felt lucky. There were so many fools, but fortunately, he was smart. Instead of looking for an older specialist, he found a young woman to treat him. How could she be reliable? Time passed by slowly. The man realized that after Xiangyi took the female university student's pulse and prescribed a prescription, the doctor who was going to treat him finally arrived. There was no other reason other than that all the medical staff were too busy, and almost all of them were working around the clock. The doctor who was going to treat him was a very famous Western doctor. In order to ensure the accuracy of the diagnosis, he first arranged for the man to undergo various tests. Just these tests alone were enough to make the man feel unbearable. It wasn't over yet. After the tests, he had to wait for a long time before the doctor finally arrived. After that, he was prescribed a lot of medicine and had to be injected with needles and infusions. The man turned to look at the bed next door. Damn, that female university student had taken Chinese medicine. The medicine had a sleeping effect. Not long after, the female university student felt sleepy. She closed her eyes and fell into a deep sleep. The man could only console himself that Western medicine was the quickest way to take effect. It could cure illnesses. It was said on the internet that the traditional Chinese medicine soup was a placebo. It was just a lie. The hospital did not restrict the use of mobile phones. The man had an 4-drip in one hand and typed with difficulty with the other. After sending the message, he scrolled through his phone in torment, feeling as if each day was like a year. After a night, the medical staff came to check on the female university student next door and then pushed her to another ward. The man had been on a drip for a long time. He looked swollen and haggard. He comforted himself that the female university student's condition must have worsened. How pitiful. TSK. Little did she know that 2 hot posts had appeared on the Melon forum. It was a post with a clickbait title. I'm in Shizhou Hospital. I want to live. The post's text. I never thought that such a disaster would befall me. Saying that the sky has collapsed is not enough to describe it. The whole world seems to have darkened. I suddenly realized that living is a luxury. I'm currently in Shizhou Hospital. Coincidentally, the first person to treat me was the vase fairy, the female celebrity Xiangyi. Fortunately, I was quick-witted and quickly changed the doctor. With her standard, it would be strange if she could cure me. The other post was very similar to a rumor. The title was, F***CK, I'm sick and I'm about to recover? Chapter 648. Post. First of all, let me calm down. I still feel like I'm in a dream. Okay, I'll briefly explain my situation. That's right, I've been infected with a disease that has recently spread in Shizhou. But my symptoms are very mild and my body functions are quite good. When I was hospitalized, I was almost scared to death. I felt like I was going to die at any moment because I heard that this disease would get worse and worse. Then, I met Xiangyi. Yes, she's the female celebrity who's often criticized on the internet. There was an annoying person in the next bed who kept saying that Xiangyi was young and female, so her medical skills weren't good enough. I got angry when I heard that. Besides, I felt that Xiangyi's skills were top-notch since she could join the expert team, so I chose her for treatment. Now, I've been transferred to the isolation ward. The nurse said that if everything goes well, I should be discharged in a week. As soon as the post was posted, netizens quickly arrived at the scene. Is Xiangyi Huatua reincarnated? F***CK, what else can I say? Sister E is awesome. OP, who knows if you're telling the truth? You're cured just because you said so? Wait a minute, this post is connected to the post next door. So that OP rejected Xiangyi's treatment and hasn't recovered yet, but OP, you're almost fully recovered? There were many doubters, so the OP added a few pictures of herself in the hospital in Shizhou. This time, the post went viral. It went all the way to the hot topic section of the Melon forum. The netizens who saw this post were dumbfounded. Ha! 2 days ago, weren't there people who were criticizing Xiangyi for being ostracized and being a second-generation doctor? But didn't Xiangyi cure the patient? Someone said sourly. She must have been lucky. The OP also said that she's a patient with a mild illness. Maybe her immune system is good. Maybe it's not a cure, but a self-healing. At this moment, the official media in Shizhou released an exciting report. Frowny face good news. The first patient in Shizhou to be cured has set a new record. The netizens clicked on it. Wow! Isn't this the OP of the Melon forum? They thought she was exaggerating, but they didn't expect the truth to be. She's too conservative. How was he about to recover? He was clearly already alive and kicking. However, he was worried that she might still be contagious, so he had her isolated for observation. In addition, this report used a lot of space to describe Xiangyi. Moreover, she had been using the title, Dr. Xiangyi, the entire time. Dr. Xiangyi has chosen a flexible method of increasing and subtracting prescriptions in her treatment plan. She has accumulated a wealth of valuable clinical experience for the medical angels on the front lines of the protest. In addition, Dr. Xiangyi also created the mind-clearing Tai Chi exercise. Not only does it allow the patients to exercise their bodies, but it also relieves the patient's anxiety and pain, bringing a touch of bright color to the ward. For a time, the netizens were overjoyed. This is the best news I've heard in days. I'm tired of talking about it. Sister E is a hanger. I won't accept any rebuttal. Ha ha ha, why aren't those sour chickens jumping out just now? How many artists in the internal entertainment industry could get the official media to personally kiss up to them? You can count them with your fingers. In the ward. When the man heard the news that the female university student next to him had recovered, he felt like he had been struck by lightning. How is this possible? He was still here on an 4 drip, but Xiangyi had already cured him? Chapter 649. Although the expert who treated him was also very good and his health had improved, there would be no harm if there was no comparison. She was already alive and kicking, but he didn't dare to move around. It was especially inconvenient for him to go to the bathroom. If he had let Xiangyi treat him in the beginning, wouldn't he have recovered by now? It was too late for the man to regret it. He finally understood that he was a complete fool. The post posted by the female university student was reposted on Weibo and coupled with the official media report in Xizhou, it could be said that it had slapped countless haters in the face. The netizens in China were having a great time watching the drama unfold. However, a blogger suddenly posted a set of photos. The photos came from one of the largest social media platforms abroad, and the content could be described as unsightly. Not only was it a distorted interpretation of the epidemic in Xizhou, but it also went as far as to attack the medical standards of China and even made people speechless. In an instant, the fandom sisters who had always been at odds with each other actually unified their battle lines in a matter of minutes. You want to compete with the fandom sisters? Haha, forgive us for being blunt, but you people overseas are all trash. Hence, the foreign social media platforms were instantly taken over by the Chinese netizens. Let me see, there are all those orphans who are making noise. Go to the 4 streets of North, South, East, and West and find out who your father is. No way, right? No one really believes in these fake news, right? Our Chinese medicine dishes? I'm sorry, but the Chinese people have a history of 5,000 years, and there are many famous doctors. Countless Chinese medicine masters have helped the poor and helped the common people. How can you scumbags have the right to comment? After that, netizens from all over the forums, Tieba, Weibo, and other social media platforms rushed over, using beautiful Chinese, English, German, Italian, and other languages to have a cordial and friendly exchange with the foreign netizens. At one point, the scene was very enthusiastic. As they quarreled, the Chinese netizens realized that there were fewer and fewer people online. What's wrong? Are they that weak? In the end, they realized that many foreign netizens had updated their posts. Oh my god! The mysterious Chinese food show has finally been updated. Oh my god! I've finally waited for the day when the witch's magical cuisine will be updated. Hamburgers, fried chicken, beer, and pasta are ready. Alice, the cute Chinese fairy, what food will she make this time? Oh my god! I'm so looking forward to it. What should I do? I'm already salivating. The Chinese netizens? What the hell? Is the witch's magical cuisine some kind of gourmet show? Why did it sound so childish? Who's Alice? A popular celebrity overseas? Everyone was puzzled until an international student solved the case for everyone. Let me explain. The witch's magic cuisine is the foreign translation of 2 under 1 roof. Actually, Sister E was very popular overseas. Everyone, from the elderly to the children, especially liked to watch her variety shows. In a sense, Sister E has already realized the export of gourmet culture overseas. All the netizens. The F***CK? Was Xiangyi so proud of her countrymen? That international student then updated his status. Also, Xiangyi's latest, Witch's Magic Dance, also went viral on foreign social media today. There were many imitators. I've got at least a few dozen short videos today. The netizens curiously clicked on it and realized that it was Xiangyi's fresh Tai Chi exercise? Tai Chi equals magic dance? There seemed to be nothing wrong with it? Chapter 650. When the news spread online, the netizens were dumbfounded at first, and then they couldn't help but burst into laughter. Xiangyi, you're indeed amazing. Spicy Tutu was even more proud of herself. Cooking is known as magical cuisine and exercising is known as magical dancing. What does it mean to export Chinese cuisine and Tai Chi culture? It means that Sister E is Magical Girl Duck. Soon, the hashtag Magical Girl E became a trending topic on the internet. She clicked on it to see that there were all sorts of netizens' comments. Ah, this is hilarious. Is Xiangyi really not going to consider becoming a comedian? Not only is Xiangyi hilarious, her fans have also gone out of line a few times. They're Buddhist, silly, chunibyu, and positive. This is what a fan should be like. This joke is so magical. The little girl in my kindergarten has already started asking me how Sister Xiangyi transformed. How should I answer her? I'm waiting for an answer online. It's urgent. It was lunchtime. The initial results of the treatment plan were evident, and the team of experts could finally sit down for a meal. Looking at his little granddaughter who had lost a lot of weight in just a few days, Xiang Yin's heart ached. Although he refused to say anything, his actions were very honest as he kept putting food into Xiang Yi's bowl. In addition, Fang Laoyun, Old Jing, and the others were also helping Xiang Yi to the dishes. The food in front of her had already piled up into a mountain. Xiang Yi didn't refuse and ate obediently. Her cheeks were full and round, making her look like a little hamster. By the way, the reporters from CCTV will be coming over for a few minutes later for a live broadcast. Old Mr. Fang was the most well-informed. He said smilingly, they'll probably focus on interviewing Xiang Yi. In the words of a young man, Xiang Yi was not only the most capable expert in the team of experts, she was also the most good-looking one. Xiang Yi said, "Oh." She then took a big bite of the beef patty. The reporters from CCTV happened to enter and captured this scene. Unlike the previous live broadcast of the news on the West Continent TV station, this time, it was a live broadcast that everyone in the country could watch. Hence, regardless of gender, age or gender, all the viewers who were watching the news were struck by the sight of Xiang Yi eating the biscuit in one bite. The elderly. Look at how hungry she is. She's at Grandpa and Grandma's house. The middle-aged man. She's eating so well. She's eating so. It would be great if she was his daughter. Young man. Ah, so cute. I'm gone. What kind of peerless cutie is Sister E? Reporter Song, who came for the interview, saw this scene and had a hard time holding back his laughter. He secretly pinched his thigh and walked to the table. He first greeted the experts and then began the interview. First was the issue of the epidemic that the public was most concerned about. Elder Fong spoke on behalf of the representative and answered the reporter's question. Everything is going well. The future is promising. I only hope that the country will prosper and the people will be at peace. Then, it was time to chat. Sure enough, reporter Song pointed the microphone at Xiang Yi. Dr. Xiang Yi, is this biscuit delicious? How does it taste? He thought that the girl would act pitiful or complain. After all, she was still a little girl. It was indeed not easy for her to work so hard. Unexpectedly, the young girl gave a thumbs up. Fragrant, so fragrant. Puff. Whether it was the people at the scene or the audience in front of the screen, everyone burst into laughter. However, the girl rubbed her belly in a serious and embarrassed manner. I still want to eat one more. Is that okay? Chapter 651. In an instant. The audience. The netizens on the internet were all roaring in real time. Eat. Let Sister E eat. One is not enough. Eat more. No, I can't take it anymore. Nurse, hurry up and add some blood to me. Damn it, where are the medics? Give me an injection of insulin. With a sullen expression, Xiang Yin handed her a pancake and said in a fierce tone, Eat. However, if one paid close attention, they would realize that the pancake he was holding was the largest one. Xiang Yi's eyebrows curved as she happily ate the pancakes. Reporter Song was stunned for a moment before he burst into laughter. Her response was really wonderful. Firstly, the public was concerned about the food standards of the medical staff who were fighting on the front line. The fact that Xiang Yi was eating so happily proved that the medical staff didn't suffer from any hardship in terms of food. Secondly, she didn't complain at all, but it made people feel sorry for her and all the medical staff. She was so happy eating such an ordinary and simple meal, which was more touching than deliberately stirring up emotions. Reporter Song thought of another entry point and subconsciously changed the way he addressed Xiang Yi. He asked in a gentle voice, Sister E, I heard that you've been very busy recently and don't have time to contact your family and friends. Is there anything you'd like to say? Our production team can pass the message on your behalf. Xiang Yi blinked and asked, Can I only say it to one person? Reporter Song looked at the time of the live stream to see that there wasn't much time left. The TV station would probably cut off the live stream when it was time, but he could upload the video online. Hence, he said generously, anyone can do it. Hearing this, Xiang Yi cleared her throat and looked at the screen. There seemed to be a faint moonlight in her clear and quiet eyes. Big brother, no matter how busy you are at work, don't drink coffee on an empty stomach. Second brother, You have to do regular rehabilitation and maintenance for your hands. Third brother, when you can't come up with a draft, don't go looking for inspiration on the tree. It's very dangerous. Fourth brother, if you train for more than an hour, you have to look out of the window. Otherwise, your eyes will hurt. Uncle, the peach trees and mulberries downstairs of your company should be ripe soon. Don't pick them secretly. It's not that they're poisonous, but they're decorative fruit trees. They taste awful. Third brother and I have already tasted them. The little girl was talking about trivial matters, but it was heartwarming and interesting. Surprisingly, the TV station did not cut off the live broadcast. On the contrary, he played this part in its entirety. Through the screen, Xiangyi's words struck a chord with countless people. In the past, everyone's understanding of doctors was more metaphysical. In fact, there was often negative news about doctors in society. Conflicts between doctors and patients happened from time to time. That was because ordinary people did not understand doctors at all. Now, he suddenly realized that doctors were also humans. There were also feelings of joy, anger, sorrow, and joy. There were also feelings of longing, and such a cute and soft side. The corners of many people's eyes were slightly wet. However, he heard Xiangyi suddenly pause for 2 seconds. Then, she pursed her lips and lowered her eyes. Her black eyelashes trembled slightly. And boyfriend, did you miss me? The audience. Where? Aren't we watching Central TV News? Why was she being fed dog food? On the screen, the fair and beautiful girl mustered up the courage to look directly at the camera. Her eyes were like falling stars, bright and smiling. She said softly, "I missed you." After saying that, the little girl pretended to be calm. However, her soft and slender fingers, which were holding the beef patty, curled up shyly. Chapter 652. The audience was grinning from ear to ear. The fans of the untimely couple went crazy. The comment section was filled with the excited shouts of the couple's fans. "Oh, kill me to cheer up Shui and Sister E. It's too sweet, too sweet. How can it be so sweet? Shui, did you hear that? Sister E is saying that she misses you. I'm about to pass out. Is Xiangyi shy? Don't delay the biscuits, they won't taste good when they're cold. Don't worry, we'll tell Shui about it for you." At the same time, in the live stream of Two Under One Roof, today's guest was the domineering CEO of the Xiang Corporation, Feng Feng. The fans complained that Li Jianyu was too good at saving money, but soon they found out. The reason was that Xiang Feng was too hilarious. He climbed trees to fish, scratched his feet, and crossed his legs. It was so realistic. Besides, he was also a walking beeper, which happened to neutralize Shui's gentle and taciturn nature. The two of them had been live streaming for half a day, and even the Shui Feng couple had popped up. What should we do? Domineering CEO X Shui Feng is a demon. Do you think we can get married? The untimely couple sneered and looked down on everything. The untimely couple is the official match. The official wife is here. The other couples are all concubines. The Shui Feng couple was indignant. They had been brothers for many years, and during Shui's most difficult time, Xiang Feng was the one who reached out to him and signed him. In terms of age, Shui and Xiang Feng had known each other for several years longer than Shui and Xiangyi. However, when Shui turned on the TV to watch the live news, the comment section was instantly filled with comments about the untimely couple. The Shui Feng couple wept. "We were wrong after all." Xiang Feng was very noisy, and he was the type of person who could talk to himself and entertain himself, let alone when he was with Shui. He munched on potato chips and said smugly, "Our little Xiangyi is so beautiful. She can actually resist the HD filterless camera of CCTV." Everyone finally snapped out of their daze. Yeah. This was a live broadcast on Central TV. All kinds of demons and ghosts had to show themselves, but Xiangyi not only resisted, but also highlighted her delicate facial features. In the crowd, it was so white that it seemed to glow. The little girl was eating meat pies. In the living room, two men occupied the two ends of the sofa. One of them was smiling so widely that his eyes couldn't be seen, while the other's thin lips were slightly curved and his eyes were filled with love. When Xiang Feng heard the instructions to his family, he wailed and slapped his thigh. "Sob sob, little Xiangyi, You went to pick peaches and mulberries with Chi-Chi without me. Netizens. Feng Feng of the Xiang clan, isn't your focus a bit off? Sui's elbows and jawline were smooth as he leaned lazily on the sofa, looking extremely relaxed. But when he heard the words, "I miss you," his dark eyes lit up. It was as if the cold Milky Way was burning hot. Xiang Feng was dissatisfied. Why don't you miss me? Am I not your favorite little uncle? Next to him, Sui softly hummed and lowered her eyebrows. Her handsome face was blurred by the light and shadow, but her voice was clear and cheerful. Yeah, I miss you too. Xiang Feng seemed to have been cast with a mute spell as the beeper went silent at this moment. A moment later, he let out an earth-shattering roar. How cruel! Are you guys trying to trick a dog to come here and kill it? The live broadcast room suddenly became a scene of a large-scale carnival. Ha 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 ha, you're indeed a team of bullies. Sisters, it's a double arrow of love. If you get it, you've earned it. I announce that the two newlyweds are officially husband and wife. Play the music. Dang 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 dang. Chapter 653. As for the Sui Feng couple, they hugged each other and cried on the spot. Sorry, we're not worthy. The official couple is the best. Reporter Song was indeed a famous reporter. He could still maintain a smile even after being fed dog food. The director's voice came through the earpiece. Continue, we have 2 more minutes. The viewership ratings have gone through the roof. It wasn't just the viewership ratings. The online search index on the internet was also constantly increasing. The live broadcast website crashed because there were too many viewers in a short period of time. The production team deliberately made adjustments to get more time for the interview. Of course, the main focus was to interview Xiangyi. Not only was it positive, but it also naturally revealed kinship and love. Which news reporter wouldn't love it? Reporter Song thought for a while and asked about Xiangyi's Tai Chi exercise. Sister E, your Tai Chi exercise has become popular overseas. Do you have anything to say about it? Xiangyi said embarrassedly, I can't say that it's mine. I adapted it based on some basic movements of Tai Chi. It's actually equivalent to radio gymnastics. It's mainly to let the patient move around and relax. I see. Reporter Song smiled and asked, I'm a little surprised. There aren't many young people who know Tai Chi these days. I just know a little. Why don't Sister E teach us a few self-defense Tai Chi moves? Xiangyi hesitated for a moment and said, Can I train? I have a simple version of Tai Chi exercise. Sure. Reporter Song thought that Tai Chi was not practical enough, so he didn't make things difficult for Xiangyi. The girl got up and casually got into position. Her every move was very simple and elegant. It was a combination of softness and softness, combining softness and agility with toughness. Her will, chi, form, and spirit were all in harmony, like flowing water. The audience was dumbfounded. Her movements are simple, but her aura is too strong. I'm shocked, I can feel the wind through the screen. Sister E can't really know martial arts, can she? That's all there is to it. If she wants to punch me, she'll have to kneel on the ground and beg me not to die. Even the experienced and knowledgeable reporter Song was stunned. He had seen the representatives of several Tai Chi sects in the country. They were all people who had devoted themselves to cultivation for decades. Only then did they have the inner strength that was described in martial arts novels. But Xiangyi was so young, and he could feel her inner strength. He was so far away that his hair was blown by the wind caused by Xiangyi's movements. Could it be that she didn't teach him self-defense techniques because don't need it? After Xiangyi demonstrated a few movements, the audience applauded. The experts present all wanted to clap their hands until they broke into pieces and kept praising her. Our little disciple is really awesome. Disciples' Tai Chi moves are comfortable and broad. Hardness and softness complement each other, and the will and chi combine. Wonderful. Is there anything in this world that my beloved disciple can't do? No. My beloved disciple is too awesome. The little girl was a little embarrassed. She pursed her lips and said, It's not that powerful, expert team. Of course not. Our obedient disciples are outstanding. Plain and simple, spacious and empty like a valley. Disciple, you don't have to be too humble. That's right, that's right. If anyone dares to say anything bad about you, I'll dissect a little rabbit for them to see. Humph. Everyone was talking at once. They really treated the little girl like a pearl in their palms. The audience was mesmerized on the spot. TSK, aren't you experts usually very serious? Why are you spoiling a little girl like this? Chapter 654. The atmosphere was joyous and harmonious. All of a sudden, the bell on the table rang. The experts who were originally relaxed immediately sat up straight with stern expressions. Some hurriedly wiped their mouths, some hurriedly tidied up their clothes, and some skillfully removed their wigs. At first, there were still some audience members who were puzzled and joked around. I'm going to be struck by lightning if I persuade people to learn medicine. Expert. I'm going bald in the path of medicine, but I've also become stronger. I suddenly realized that Xiangyi and Xiangyin have the best hair out of all of them. The Xiang family's genes are really impressive. Reporter Song was about to ask Xiangyi what happened, but he saw her striding out. Dr. Xiangyi. She looked back with her clear eyes calm and indifferent. She nodded at him slightly and said, "Excuse me." Reporter Song was confused. Why did she leave just like that? The other younger experts also left one after another. Eager to protect his disciple, Elder Jing supported himself with a table and got up. No, I have to go and take a look. I can't let my dear disciple tire herself out. However, after getting up, his body swayed a little. Reporter Song was quick to react and hurriedly supported him. Elder Jing's eyes were red with anger. If I were 10 years younger, this would be nothing. Nothing. Elder Yun sighed. They were now in the mood to practice medicine, but they didn't have the strength to do so. After days of hard work, Xiangyi was the only one who could still run. The old men were already exhausted. The respected Elder Feng explained, "This bell means that there are patients in need of rescue." Reporter Song was suddenly enlightened. Oh, I see. Forget it. Let's go and take a look too. Even if we can't do it ourselves, we can at least give them some advice. Elder Feng waved his hand and continued, "We can't let the young people look down on us." Everyone supported each other and dragged their exhausted bodies, but their eyes were full of determination. Occasionally, the sound of experts arguing could be heard. "Old man, can you do it or not? You're already panting after taking a few steps? Weren't you very agile when you were snatching the braised pork balls just now? If you ask me, you Western medicine doctors should learn how to maintain your health too. What's wrong with wearing a wig? It's better than some of you wearing dentures." Reporter Song's throat rolled as he looked at the group of exhausted but cheerful experts. His emotions were churning and indescribable. It was because of this group of people that the problem could be solved. Thank you all for your efforts. Reporter Song, who had always been eloquent, spoke dryly at this moment. He couldn't find the words to express his feelings. Our live broadcast today ends here. The live broadcast was interrupted, and the television began to broadcast other news. The audience in front of the screen remained silent for a long time. That scene was simply too shocking. Especially when Xiangyi took the lead and walked out. Her steps were so fast that it was as if she was walking on the wind. Her slender and thin figure carried far too much. No matter how cold-hearted a person was, he would feel from the bottom of his heart that little girl, it really wasn't easy. On the internet, the spicy tutu girls were all crying. The moment our sister E rushed out without hesitation, it was so good to cry. Those who slander Sister E, listen up. She was not a vase fairy, nor was she a second-generation doctor. She was Dr. Xiangyi. She was an angel. Oh my God, I'm watching the live broadcast of CCTV and 2 under one roof at the same time. Sure Sui's heart is aching. In the living room, Sure Sui's long eyelashes drooped and he didn't move for a long time. However, if one took a closer look, they would realize that his hands, which were hanging on the sofa, were clenched into fists. He was using so much force that his knuckles were pale. Chapter 655. Even the beeping machine, Xiaofan, was drooping his head in dejection. In fact, he knew very well that although Xiangyin supported his children and grandchildren to choose a career they were passionate about, he definitely wanted someone to inherit his medical skills. Unfortunately, he and Sangchen were really not interested in medical skills. Xiangyi was a meticulous person. She could sense Xiangyin's disappointment, so she had been following him around since she was a child. It was undeniable that she was indeed interested in medical skills, but more than that, She didn't want Xiang Yin to have no successor. When she was a child, Xiang Yi would often doze off while memorizing Chinese medicine prescriptions. Occasionally, when she encountered difficult problems that she couldn't figure out, she would secretly hide in a corner and cry. Xiang Feng still felt his heart ache when he thought about it. He thought that his niece would be happy when she grew up, but to his surprise, she seemed to have more worries and responsibilities. Xiang Feng sniffled and said sadly, "My little Xiangyi is working too hard. When you come back, I'll definitely buy you fried chicken, ice cream, and spicy strips." The netizens watching the live stream were appalled. What kind of dangerous statement is that? Mr. Xiang is in danger. Is he taking Sister E to eat garbage? How should I put it? Bullying is not without reason. Actually, Xiang Yin may be a little silly, but he's really nice to Sister E. He just wants to make Sister E happy. I feel like crying again. Xiang Feng turned his head and said with tears in his eyes, "Sway sway, cry if you want to, you don't have to hold it in. Come, lean on Daddy's shoulder." Shi Sui raised her eyebrows in confusion. Xiang Feng said, "I'll call you Sway Sway and you can call me Daddy. We'll talk about our own things." Shi Sui responded with a smile. "Why don't I beat you up and you get beaten up by me? Isn't that fair?" Xiang Feng was dumbfounded. Seeing that Shi Sui had begun to roll up her sleeves, Xiang Feng began to run for his life. "Help! Little Xiangyi, come back and save me." Shi Sui chased after him unhurriedly. "I'll keep you alive. Sister E can be saved anyway." Xiang Feng. The dignified and domineering CEO actually ran so fast that his slippers fell off. For a moment, the audience gasped in amazement. "My eyes are moist, and I'm holding back my tears." Smile. What was even more amusing was that as Xiang Feng ran, he picked a big tree and climbed up it. His movements were so skillful that those who heard it would shed tears and those who heard it would be heartbroken. Just how much experience did he have in taking a beating? Little Uncle's act of climbing trees to save his life is so practiced that it makes one's heart ache. I'm imagining him being chased and beaten up by Brother Damao and Brother Ermao. Feng Feng of the Xiang family is such a pitiful man. Help! Who still remembers that Xiang Feng is a domineering CEO? Why isn't he smiling wickedly? There's no fan-shaped statistics in his eyes either. Shi Sui crossed her arms and said faintly, "Come down." Xiang Feng hugged the tree trunk and said in a trembling voice, "Come up." Shi Sui sneered. Xiang Feng trembled. He remembered that Shi Sui also knew how to climb trees. Boo-hoo, what if he climbs up too? Xiang Feng was suffering, but through the lush foliage, he couldn't see the situation under the tree clearly. After waiting for a long time, there was no movement under the tree. Xiang Feng had an urge to pee, but he didn't dare to go down. Xiang Feng's imagination ran wild. Shi Sui must be waiting for me down there. If I go down now, wouldn't I be walking right into a trap? Boo-hoo. Little did he know that Shi Sui only stayed under the tree for a moment before leaving. The camera was still looking up at the tree, but the audience in the live stream couldn't stop laughing. I'm laughing so hard, ha 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 ha. Chapter 656. Shocking, a certain domineering CEO is showing signs of atavism. Shuringdi is so black-bellied, he left just like that. Mr. Xiang is so pitiful. Xiang Feng stayed on the tree for about 2 or 3 minutes before cautiously poking his head down to take a look. Ha! Where is she? He looked confused for a few seconds before regaining his composure. Ha! It's just an empty fort. Xiang Feng was like a detective deducing a crime scene. Sway Sway, you've underestimated me. The man's serious comical look was even funnier than a comedian racking his brains for a joke. The audience in the live stream once again burst into laughter. Help, someone save me, I'm dying of laughter. Xiang Feng, a perfect man who's funny. Mr. Xiang. Shuringdi really just left. He just left. Under everyone's gazes, Xiang Feng laughed wildly with his hands on his hips and sat down on the tree trunk, looking like he was going to stay on the tree until the end of time. About 10 minutes later, Li Jianyu couldn't hold back his laughter and said, Mr. Xiang, Shi Sui has really left. Left. Xiang Feng crossed his arms and looked down at Li Jianyu with a domineering gaze. Do you think I'll believe you? You're such a naive, stupid, and ridiculous man. Li Jianyu, keep scolding me. This scene also became one of the classic and famous scenes of Two Under One Roof. which was later rewatched by countless loyal fans. It was also one of the funniest clips of variety shows. Xiaofan sat on the tree for a whole hour. The production crew found a ladder and went up to persuade him one by one. It took a lot of effort for them to persuade Xiaofan to come down. 1 second, 2 seconds. After waiting for a full 10 seconds, Xiaofan still didn't see Shui come out to beat him up. He was stunned on the spot. She really left? At the same time, on Weibo, an unknown director released a clip of behind-the-scenes footage. It was a short promotional film about the fight against the plague. The film started with the family affairs of small characters and was shot in an extremely natural manner. It wasn't the kind that made people cry, but rather, it subtly touched the audience's heart. From beginning to end, the people who appeared were all unknown actors, extras, and members of the public. Even the director himself went up to make a cameo appearance. The only exception was Shui. He played the role of a university teacher who taught online classes through the internet. He was wearing a cotton plaid shirt, and his glasses had been replaced with the most ordinary black-rimmed glasses, but it was still difficult to conceal his clean and handsome temperament. His slender and flawless fingers tapped the table twice, and his voice was gentle. Hello, students. Please turn to page 79 of College Physics. In the behind-the-scenes footage, the young best actor had obviously used his original voice. His understanding of the lines was impeccable. Even though the scene was a little noisy, the man's pronunciation was still clearly heard by everyone. The Shui sisters were thrilled to see this behind-the-scenes video. Physics teacher, I can do it. Oh my god, our best actor has finally made it. Karma. Yes. There's no trace of her acting skills at all, she's so immersive. This video actually climbed to the top of the search list without any publicity. Zhuai, who saw this trending topic, gripped his phone tightly. Eating well for all 3 meals was going downhill. He heard that Muyao TV was already preparing to give up this show and replace it with a new variety show. Now, his and Jiang Yun'er's reputation had been ruined, but why was Shui living so smoothly? Zhuai was so jealous that his eyes turned red. He switched to another account and found a blogger to expose. Chapter 657. In the rented apartment. Peeler was playing games while shaking his legs. Ever since he started operating Weibo accounts such as Online Celebrity Peeler and Melon in the Field, he had earned quite a lot of money, but he squandered it all away. He either used it for online gambling or for top-up games. When he ran out of money, he would continue to post posts to slander celebrities and internet celebrities and make money off of them. However, after Peeler was mocked by the netizens a few days ago for defaming Xiangyi, he was worried that Xiangyi would retaliate. Hence, he had been keeping a low profile for a few days and only posted some trivial posts on Weibo. After playing games, he lit a cigarette and scrolled through the trending searches on Weibo to find material for today's post. A private message from a friend popped up in the lower right corner of his screen. Peeler opened it and found that it was a new piece of news from a netizen named Extraordinary Joie. It was not the first time that this netizen had exposed him, and each time, it was particularly explosive. Peeler had successfully gained popularity several times by relying on the netizen's posts. As soon as he saw his new post, Peeler's eyes lit up. His face was sallow and haggard because he had stayed up late. Half an hour later, Peeler's fans realized that he had updated his post. Online Celebrity Peeler v. I received news from a netizen that a certain best actor is suspected of being involved in illegal activities for receiving sky-high remuneration. Aren't the relevant departments going to investigate? Why should we pay our taxes so painstakingly while some people can evade them? The topic of paying taxes would make the headlines from time to time. The fact that celebrities paid taxes was the focus of countless people's attention. Upon seeing this Weibo post, all the netizens in the comments section began to imagine that the capital was online. Ah! Could it be that best actor I'm thinking of? The one on the trending searches? That's strange. His girlfriend is fair, rich, and beautiful, and he's from a wealthy family. That's unlikely. You probably don't know this, but SS family had an accident. When he was 17 years old, his family's company was not well managed and he owed a large sum of money. He debuted to make money. Don't use abbreviations. I'm dying of curiosity. Is SS Shui? Super soft. The Shui sisters immediately appeared to criticize him. Don't believe rumors, don't spread rumors, don't create rumors. Everyone, please pay more attention to Shui's career. She is the triple gold best actor Sui, Kanglan TV Emperor Sui, 10 billion box office Sui, fashion darling Sui. Since the establishment of Time Studio, it has been paying taxes legally. Shui herself has also supported public welfare projects many times. She has donated to poor mountainous areas, out-of-school children, deaf and mute schools, psychological institutions, and so on. Please don't disappoint those who truly do charity. However, Skinner smelled the scent of big gossip. He switched to another account and reposted the Weibo post he had posted, playing different roles. Shuringdi would never do something like that. Trust him unconditionally. My whole family is shocked. SS actually paid sky-high fees and evaded taxes? Let's talk about the conspiracy theory. Could the 50 million donation to the West Continent also be to launder money? It's scary when you think about it. After a few accounts reposted it, the popularity of this Weibo post rose rapidly. Skinner was happily looking at the number of views on his website that was rapidly increasing. He was thinking that he could earn a lot of money today. Suddenly, a prompt box popped up on the screen. Frowny face, your account has been banned. Skinner : At the same time, the director of the anti-epidemic short film said, "Thank you, Shui, for acting in my short film for free. I'm deeply touched and would like to express my deep gratitude." Chapter 658. TSK. The netizens who had been standing on the moral and legal high ground to judge Shui were shocked. This turn of events was too unexpected. After all, an A-list celebrity's salary and appearance fees would start at least 1 million yuan for a short film. It turned out that it wasn't a sky-high salary. It was a zero-pay deal? Is this for real? Why am I so doubtful? How can there be an artist in the entertainment industry who doesn't earn money? Are you sure it's not a fake contract? On the surface, it's a zero-pay deal, but on the other hand, it's a sky-high price? The director replied to the comment about the fake contract, "Please don't judge others based on preconceived notions. Perhaps such a phenomenon really exists in the industry, but I'm willing to guarantee with my life that Shui didn't take a single cent, not even the transportation fees. All the actors in the crew can testify." More and more people came forward. There were actors who had filmed the short film with him, as well as the scriptwriter and post-production staff. Even the takeaway boss who delivered the lunchboxes was full of praise for Shui. "This young man is really handsome. He's polite too. The weather was bad after I delivered the takeaway and it was about to rain. He even gave me an umbrella." The public opinion shifted from one side to the other. However, this time it was positive public opinion. There were also people in the industry who revealed that not only did Shui get zero pay this time, but all the public welfare projects that he had participated in previously had all been for zero pay. Not only that, the director who had given him a chance at the beginning of his debut also charged him a discount when he acted in the director's work after he became popular. When his friend asked him to save the scene, he did it without hesitation. Only then did the netizens realize that Shui seemed to not only be good at acting, but he also had a good character. Everyone was relishing in the gossip, and some people even gossiped that the city Shui was filming in today was quite close to Xizhou, but they were soon mocked by the netizens. What kind of joke was this? Would Shui go to see Xiangyi if it was close to the city? Would the almighty Shui be so lovey-dovey? At this moment, in the nanny van, Shui's long legs were crossed, and his slender fingers were knitting something. The tablet was casually placed to the side, and on the screen was Si Chuanbai's expressionless face. He went straight to the point. "I've already dealt with the blogger who spread rumors about you on Weibo today. He's the only one with the internet celebrity skinning accounts." Shui replied calmly, "Yes." Si Chuanbai saw that his reaction was normal, so he added, "He often slandered Sister E, but his computer skills are very good. He even filled in his information from overseas. It took a lot of effort to successfully report him. I've sent the details to Mr. Sanction, and he said that he will personally write the legal documents." Nowadays, spreading rumors didn't come without cost. At the very least, they had to publicly apologize. If it was any other artist, they probably wouldn't have been so calculative. Unfortunately, he had provoked a certain crazy sister protector. Shui frowned. "Are there many people who slander Sister E?" "They've all been reported." "Oh?" Si Chuanbai was speechless. You don't even care if I'm slandering you, but why do you change when I mention Sister E? Tiske, there are still two faces. Okay, I'll do as I see fit. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Shi Sui picked up the tablet and was about to end the video call. Si Chuanbai inadvertently caught a glimpse of the colorful yarn at the man's fingertips and exclaimed in surprise. You're knitting? Chapter 659. It's not. Si Chuanbai heaved a sigh of relief. The next second, he heard Shi Sui say casually, it's a hair clip. Si Chuanbai was confused. What was that? Was it the hair clip that he understood? It's for Sister E. Shi Sui tapped her fingers and sent a few photos to Si Chuanbai. It was the most popular knitted hair clip with bright colors and cute patterns. The other kids have one, but Sister E has to have one too. Si Chuanbai looked at the strawberry hair clip, bunny hair clip, and snow white hair clip and fell silent. I'll continue. Goodbye. Shi Sui hung up calmly. Si Chuanbai paused for a few seconds and asked Anan, Hey, little colorful hair. In the office, Anan was using his laptop to chat with the netizens. His speed and ability to spit out vulgarities was amazing. However, while the netizens were ferocious with their keyboards, the real Anan sucked on a lollipop and let out a cute, ah. Si Chuanbai told him about Shi Sui knitting the hair clip and showed him the photos. This thing only costs a few yuan online, right? Do you have to knit it yourself? Anan said. This is probably why you can't find a girlfriend. Si Chuanbai raised his eyebrows. Oh, don't you think it's sweet? Anan's tone was angry. Sugar. It's sugar. Who would be able to resist making something for the person they like? Is that so? Anan clicked on #untimely hashtag and taught Si Chuanbai how to make sugar. Come. I'll teach you how to make sugar. What's the essence of making sugar? First, it's eye contact. Second, it's conversation. And third, it's details. But the real sugar is when two people are not in the same frame and can make a lot of sugar. We usually call this realm a sugar lover. Si Chuanbai pushed up his glasses with his fingers and took notes with a serious expression on his face. From time to time, he would make a few notes. In the room with the humidifier on, the water vapor was dense. Si Chuanbai, who was dressed in a suit and leather shoes, and Anan, who was relaxing and exercising, were very close to each other. After nightfall, it began to rain in the West Continent. The patients who were sent over had all received effective treatment. However, no cure had been found yet. All the experts were at a loss. It was rare for them to have some free time. Sleep had become a luxury that made every second count. Most people went to rest. However, Xiangyi didn't rest. Instead, she sat by the window of the resting room and flipped through the electronic files of the ancient medical book with a focused expression. The electronic file was a photocopy of the picture. There were no punctuation marks, and it was still in traditional Chinese. Most people would find it difficult to even break out a sentence, but Xiangyi did not have any reading difficulties at all. She browsed through it at an extremely fast speed. Suddenly, her fingertips paused and she read it carefully a few more times. Her round eyes became brighter and brighter. Found it. The girl hurriedly took a screenshot and sent it to the newly created group of experts. She also summarized her reading notes and sent them out. Suddenly, the long-awaited system notification sounded in his mind. Host, the male lead is downstairs. Xiangyi was stunned for 2 seconds. Then, she pulled open the curtains and looked at a thin and tall figure through the pitter-patter of rain and the dark and silent night. Thump, thump! Her heartbeat suddenly quickened. Xiangyi was so helpless that her fingertips curled up. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Her phone vibrated. She glanced sideways and saw the name on the screen. AAA Boyfriend Red Heart. Chapter 660. The video call was connected. After a moment of darkness, Shi Sui's face appeared on the screen. Xiangyi blinked, not knowing what to do. She waved her hand clumsily and said, Hi. Shi Sui's surroundings were dim. He stood under the street lamp, wearing a dark black sweater, which made his skin look cold and pale. The dim yellow light cast a gentle and clear silhouette on his entire person. Shi Sui said gently, Hello? Xiangyi said, Hello. Shi Sui's eyebrows arched deeper. Did our sister eat well? Xiangyi felt a little guilty, but she still said, Yes, yes. What did you have for dinner? Xiangyi couldn't answer. She mumbled, "Oh," and tried to muddle through with her cuteness. I ate a lot at noon. The beef patties are very fragrant. I'll cook them for you when I get back." Shui sighed, but he didn't expose her. He just responded softly. "Aren't you cold?" the man asked in a low voice. "Be careful not to catch a cold." The girl on the screen was only wearing a milky white short-sleeved shirt. It was a loose-fitting version, probably for ease of movement. However, in this rainy summer night, she looked cold and slender. Xiangyi immediately jumped onto the single bed and wrapped the small blanket tightly. "I won't be cold like this," Shui said. "Sister E is so good." Xiangyi shook her little legs. She was praised. Xiangyi was a little nervous at first, but because of Shui's silent comfort, she gradually calmed down. She chatted with Shui for a while. It was obviously nonsense, but inexplicably, she felt very warm and happy. "Don't you think we're like an old married couple?" Xiangyi played with the small blanket. It seemed that her parents' interactions when she was young were also like this. She didn't know which word pleased Shui, but the man's dark eyes were filled with a smile. He said softly, "Yes." Xiangyi suddenly reacted. "You didn't bring an umbrella?" The drizzle soaked Shui's hair. In his mind, the system's voice was bewitching. "Host, you can give the male lead an umbrella now this way. Not only can you give him an umbrella, you can also increase his favorability." Xiangyi. Oh. The system was overjoyed. Finally. Is this woman finally going to do missions? This is great. The next second, Xiangyi transferred a sum of money to Shui. At the same time, Shui's phone rang with a notification. "AAA girlfriend has transferred 1 million yuan to you." Shui. "The system," Xiangyi said with a serious face. "I can't give you an umbrella. Otherwise, you'll be quarantined when you go back. It would even implicate Li Jianyu and Sister Ruan. Sorry, can you go to the convenience store and buy an umbrella? Or should I order takeout for you?" The system was about to vomit blood. "No, host, an umbrella isn't that expensive." The girl ignored it. Her delicate porcelain face was flushed. Don't misunderstand. I don't mean to humiliate you with money. I want to give you pocket money. Just like what her grandparents and brothers had given her. Her definition of pocket money since she was a child was, because her family loved her, and she was loved. Unfortunately, Xiangyi was the youngest, so she couldn't give others pocket money even if she wanted to. But today, she finally gave it to her boyfriend. "Why aren't you saying anything?" Xiangyi was a little uneasy. Would this hurt Shui's self-esteem? Was her boyfriend angry? Chapter 661. On the other end of the screen, Shui pulled up his sweater and put on the hood to block out the shadows. His Adam's apple bobbed as unfamiliar emotions surged in his heart. But it was beautiful. Shui had always been a supporter of equal rights between men and women. He wasn't a male chauvinist, so he didn't feel that Xiangyi was insulting him or pitying him by giving him money. He really felt happy. When he was young, his parents lived apart. When he was young, his family changed. To Shui, pocket money was an extremely luxurious thing. But little bunny gave him pocket money. Such a gentle, soft, and warm little bunny. "If you don't like it, I won't do it again." "I'm sorry. It's my first time in a relationship. It's my fault. Can you talk to me?" The girl's clear voice came through the phone. Shui finally raised his eyebrows. Those upturned peach blossom eyes seemed to be studded with stars, bright and burning. "Thank you, Sister E. I'm very happy." "Really?" Xiangyi breathed a sigh of relief. That's good, that's good." Shui took out a few hair clips from his pocket. After all, it was his first time knitting, so the finished product was a little rough. He touched his nose embarrassedly. "Do you like them?" The man's joints were slender and well-defined, which contrasted with the hair clips. "They're so cute. Did you buy them for me?" "Yes." The next second, Xiangyi's phone vibrated. It was a message from Nan. Nan is also eating candy today. "Sister E. Mr. C and I were in the middle of supper when he told me that Shengdi had personally knitted a hair clip for you. It's too sweet, too sweet. My devil spicy hot and sour noodles have become sweet and spicy. Those hair clips were knitted for her by Shui. The little deer in her heart seemed to be able to talk and kept pounding non-stop. Xiangyi blinked. Boyfriend, did you knit these for me? Shui noticed her action of replying to the message and joked. It seems that I've been betrayed by my teammate. As long as Si Chuanbai knew something, Nan would definitely know. Xiangyi corrected him softly. Of course not. Xiangyi was very embarrassed, but she also wanted to express her feelings to Shui. She pulled the small blanket to cover most of her face and said in a low voice, I really like the hairpin you knitted for me. I also really like you. I can't take it anymore. The little girl's face quickly turned as red as a tomato, and she covered her entire face. Shui's eyes were deep and serene as she stared at the soft light through the curtain of rain. There were countless thoughts of not wanting to be a human in his heart. But he killed them all. I'll continue knitting. I hope Sister E can like me a little more. The man's tone was as gentle as jade, and it sounded very affectionate in the middle of the night. Xiangyi was so shy that her toes curled up. She quietly opened a gap and happened to make eye contact with Shui, who was smiling. Her ancestral arrogance was activated. The little girl's heart softened and she said stubbornly, I'm not looking at you, I just want to see the hairpin. I don't know how it'll look like after I put it on. Shui raised his eyebrows. Then let me help you try it on? Xiangyi was stunned. Ha! The man looked down and slowly put the little rabbit, strawberry, and snow-white hairpins on his head one by one. He looked up and his thick and long eyelashes fluttered, making him look like a charming demon. Even the surrounding scenery instantly became lively. Are you satisfied? Mei. Chapter 662. Boom! Xiangyi's mind went blank as if fireworks had exploded in her head. Through the cold electronic equipment, Shui's thin lips curled up and her face instantly heated up. Cough, cough, cough. A few seconds later, Xiangyi broke out into an earth-shattering coughing fit. She finally calmed down. It's okay. Shui looked disappointed. Sister E, do you think the hair clip is ugly? Or do you think I'm ugly? It was said that little puppies were the most irresistible when they acted coquettishly. But who would have thought that when a mature, steady, gentle and handsome man acted coquettishly, it was even more irresistible? No. The hair clip is cute. And so are you. I didn't mean that. No, that's what I meant. You're really cute. Sob. I'm sorry. Xiangyi was incoherent. She was no longer as calm as she usually was. She even apologized to Shui. Shui raised his hand to touch the hair clip. Its outline was blurred by the light, but it was very gentle. I don't like it when others praise me for being cute. But Sister E praised me for being cute. He sighed helplessly and dotingly. What should I do? I'm very happy. Everything related to her in this world was so beautiful. Hearing the man's whispers that sounded like sweet nothings, Xiangyi's little legs fluttered even more violently. She lay on the bed, leaned her phone against the pillow, rubbed her hot face, and then looked at Shui. She made a heart sign. Shui was slightly stunned. Just as he was about to respond, he heard a beep sound. The video call had been hung up by a shy little bunny. Immediately after, the little girl sent 2 messages. Frowny face, it's very late. Go back quickly. Remember to buy an umbrella. The top of the screen was still typing. Shui licked his lips and continued to wait. However, the little girl on the other end of the screen edited and deleted many times. Finally, she blushed and sent a few cute emoticons. Frowny face, I miss you. Old Dai is full of you. JPG. I'm the best friend in the world with you. JPG. I like you. JPG. The last picture was of a little rabbit holding its heart. Below it were 2 big words. Frowny face chirp. In the rainy summer night, the man stroked the screen with his slender fingers for a long time before leaving. 10 days later. Early in the morning news broke out with exciting news. A treatment plan for this epidemic had been developed. All of a sudden, everyone was sharing this joy on all the major social media platforms. But inexplicably, a lot of doubtful comments appeared on the internet. How can it be so fast? The vaccine research still needs a few more months. Can it be cured just like that? I'm not suspecting the officials. I'm suspecting that some doctors are faking it for the sake of their own reputation. Healing? I'm dying of laughter. As far as I know, all the patients currently rely on strengthening the body's immune system to heal themselves. This so-called treatment plan can't be bragging about only having a little effect, right? Hee hee, who knows if it'll work or not? Perhaps there would be no effect at all. Similar epidemics had happened in other countries before. Their medical standards were top-notch, but it took them several years to come up with a treatment plan. Since when can our medical standards be compared to those of other countries? At the same time, the morning news showed the list of people who had proposed a treatment plan. Xiangyi's name was at the top. Chapter 663. The netizens who saw the news were dumbfounded. According to normal logic, being ranked first meant that she had made the greatest contribution. There are so many highly respected medical bigwigs standing aside, and yet, a young girl is ranked first? Does that make sense? Many netizens' comments were soon filled with arrogance and prejudice as they began to criticize. These experts have no bottom line. They may take in disciples, but how can they mess around with the rankings? I have a bold guess that Xiangyi's grandfather colluded with those experts to pave the way for his granddaughter's future. Tiske, it might not be so disgusting if they did it slowly, but it's so direct. It's like a sugar daddy in the entertainment industry trying to groom a female artist. What's the difference between this and academic fraud? It's not her own thesis but under her own name. She didn't contribute at all, and yet she's still the author. How disgusting. Be careful, the higher you stand, the harder you fall. After all, it's lonely at the top. If you misbehave, you'll fail sooner or later. The voices of doubt were all over the place. Even the passers-by who had a good impression of Xiangyi were shaken. After all, the good doctors they met in life were all older. How many young doctors were reliable? What more a young female doctor? Besides, she was only in her early 20s. Although she could be a genius, how many geniuses were there in this world? Habits were a powerful force that was even harder to change once they formed a mindset. More and more people participated in the discussion, and various small articles and short videos emerged one after another. The discussion about the treatment plan was far less than the discussion about Xiangyi. The officials didn't expect that the public's focus would deviate to such an extent. Just as the public opinion was at its peak, the official Weibo account of 2 Under One Roof posted a new post: frowny face 2 Under One Roof v. Sister E, welcome home. See you guys at dinner. Ahem, see you at the live stream. The accompanying picture was of a black car parked at the gate of Little Rabbit Farm, and a young girl alighting from the car with a backpack on her back. The setting sun was a large patch of orange on the horizon, and half of the young girl's face was hidden in the shadows, as if she had been plated with a layer of filter. She looked quiet and composed. However, she had obviously lost a lot of weight, and even though she was wearing a mask, it was obvious that her chin had become sharper. All of a sudden, the netizens who couldn't sit still flooded the live stream. They didn't say much and started to scold her. As a doctor, how could you come back? No way, no way. The news is still blowing up, and he's already a deserter? She's dressed 2M, short-sleeved jeans, bright yellow school bag. Where was the professionalism that a doctor should have? How can we trust her? At this moment, a tall and slender figure appeared on the screen. The photographer slowly zoomed in to ensure that the two of them were in the same frame. In an instant, a scene that resembled an idol drama appeared before everyone's eyes. Shui naturally took Xiangyi's bag and rubbed her hair. I'm back. Xiangyi's eyes curved slightly. I brought you a lot of things. Xiangyi pulled open the zipper, and the things inside gushed out as if they had exploded. The little girl introduced him in a gentle voice. This is the most famous shrimp and custard bun in the West Continent. This is the medicinal plaster that Grandpa Fong gave me. It's a secret ancestral recipe. And the blind box I picked at the station. Look, isn't this very similar to yours? I'm so lucky. The girl was like a dragon who loved to hoard shiny treasures, but she didn't hesitate to share them with her baby. The netizens in the live stream were speechless. They suddenly didn't know what to say. It's quite sweet? Chapter 664. Every time Xiangyi took out an item, she would introduce it to him seriously. She was chattering incessantly but not noisy at all. Shui's gaze was affectionate and he smiled gently. From time to time, he would nod and chime in. He waited for her to introduce the entire bag of items. Are all of them for me? The man asked softly. Xiangyi nodded vigorously. Xiao Naofu, who was not far away, took a few steps back when it heard those words. Its eyes were full of disbelief. Li Jianyu gestured for the cameraman to give Xiao Naofu a close-up shot, which instantly made the audience laugh. Ha ha ha, Director Li, you're so good at this. Xiao Naofu, that year I made a mistake after all. Oh my god. Is little Shiji a spirit? He actually pulled Xiao Naofu into his arms and kissed it. Xiao Naofu CP is so awesome. I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. This couple must be 99%. The creamy yellow Shiba Inu held the kitten in his arms and licked its fluffy fur, as if he was saying with his actions, "Ha, kitten, you're mine. He's even more domineering than my owner, Xiaofan." Xiao Naofu was so traumatized that it forgot to resist. Before it knew it, its head was covered in saliva. The audience expressed their opinions. I can't take it anymore, my diabetes is getting worse. I never expected that I'd have to eat Xiao Naofu and little Shiji's dog food too. Sure Sui equals live-in son-in-law, little Shiji equals live-in son-in-law, so Sure Sui equals a dog. Is there something wrong with that, friends? The comment section was extremely lively, and the tense atmosphere from before was gone. Sure Sui led Xiangyi into the living room and pressed her down on the sofa to rest. He didn't forget to place a soft pillow behind her back. He lowered his head and turned on the TV, after which he switched to a variety show. He had also prepared snacks and fruits. The food is ready, I'll go get it, Xiangyi said softly. Why are you such a good husband and father? Sure Sui couldn't help but laugh as he stared at Xiangyi for a few seconds. Xiangyi was puzzled. Why do you keep looking at me? Did I say something wrong? The only response she got was a pair of warm palms rubbing the top of her head a few times. Wait for me. When the man strode into the kitchen with his long legs, Xiangyi suddenly realized that something was wrong. A good husband and a good father. They were just dating. What nonsense was she spouting? The untimely CP fans in the live stream all smiled at the same time. Sure Sui. Thank you, Sister E. I will try my best to be a good husband and a good father. Cute, cute. Am I the only one who thinks that Shuringdi's wait for me is a double entendre? The first meaning is, wait for me to bring you food. The second meaning is, wait for me to become your husband. Ha ha ha, quickly cover Xiao Naofu's eyes, we kittens can't watch this. However, it was too late. Xiao Naofu suffered another blow, and his heart was like dead ashes. This stupid woman doesn't have me in her heart. Xiao Naofu lay on the ground, paralyzed like a cat biscuit with its paws spread out like a crippled cat. Little Shiji anxiously circled around it, but no matter how much it licked its fur, Xiao Naofu remained indifferent. Until a sweet and soft voice rang out softly. Xiao Naofu, look what this is. Dang dang dang. Xiao Naofu. No matter what this stupid woman takes out, I won't forgive her. In the next second, Xiangyi pulled over an oversized suitcase that was countless times larger than her backpack. Xiao Naofu, meow meow meow. Chapter 665. Are these? Xiao Naofu tried to suppress the excitement in its heart. Xiangyi opened the box, and as expected, it was full of things for Xiao Naofu. Canned cat food, cat snacks, cat toys. There was even a compilation CD of cartoons for kittens to watch. The audience was dumbfounded. Is this the legendary cat cartoon? You'll have to pay for the homophonic joke. Ha ha ha, Xiao Naofu's reaction is so funny. It went from lying down to wagging its tail. Baby, don't forget that you're a kitten. Why are you learning from little Shiji and Sure Sui? Do you like it? Xiangyi asked with a smile while kneeling on the tatami. Xiao Naofu's eyes were glistening, and it couldn't help but scratch the toys with its paws. However, it was still acting very arrogant. Meow meow. It's just a... Xiangyi put a golden bell on it, which made a crisp sound when she fiddled with it with her slender fingers. Xiao Naofu. Meow. I don't want to wear this. This is the big tiger's favorite bell. Meow? Meow. Really? I want to wear it. Sure Sui came out with some food on a wooden tray, only to see that Lin Yiqian was coaxing the kitten. The corners of his lips curled into a smile. This is for our little Shiji. Xiangyi took out another red bell and put it on little Shiji's neck. Little Shiji nudged Xiao Naofu merrily. Woof. Xiao Naofu had a look of disdain. This silly dog is so annoying. Okay, Now you guys are pretending to be brothers. Xiangyi was extremely satisfied and picked up her cell phone to take photos of the cat and dog. Both of them were very photogenic and looked good in all the photos. Xiao Naofu couldn't be bothered to pose and was cold and arrogant throughout. Little Shiji, on the other hand, was kissing, hugging, and licking it. It was a real bootlicker. The comments in the live stream: I'm willing to exchange 5 kilograms of fat for Xiao Naofu's soul. What do you mean by pretending to be brothers? They're obviously a couple. I'm so jealous. Even kittens get kisses. I'm already in my 20s, but I'm still dating my mother. Xiangyi took out a DVD player and put the disc in. The TV began to play a cartoon. Xiao Naofu and little Shiji squatted in front of the coffee table and watched with great interest. Since there were no guests, Xiangyi and Shi Sui didn't pay much attention to the table and sat down to eat. The dinner that Shi Sui made was very simple. Millet yam porridge, boiled vegetables, custard buns, and shrimp dumplings. Xiangyi tasted them one by one. How does it taste? Shi Sui looked calm, but she was actually a little nervous. Xiangyi looked at him seriously and gave him 2 thumbs up. Excellent. Our Shi Sui is the god of cooking, the genius of cooking, and the king of home-cooked dishes. There was no one who didn't love bootlicking. There was no one who didn't love the flattery of the person they liked. Shi Sui lowered her long eyelashes to hide the look in her eyes, but she couldn't hide the smile at the corner of her mouth. Countless people in front of the screen were overwhelmed by her sweetness and almost forgot to question Xiangyi at the beginning. However, after the meal, Shi Sui put the cutlery into the dishwasher while Xiangyi cooked some medicinal cuisine in a casserole pot. Steam rose from the pot, and the bitterness of the Chinese medicine mixed with the aroma of the ingredients wafted into everyone's noses. Li Jianyu sniffed and asked curiously, Sister E, what are you cooking? A medicinal cuisine to prevent viruses. Xiangyi looked at the camera and asked, Do you guys want it? I can post it on Weibo. As soon as he said this, he stirred up 1,000 waves. Chapter 666. The comments in the live stream were quickly polarized. So amazing? Yes, yes, yes. What kind of god is Sister E? How can she do this? Haha, even foreign experts said that they were at a loss after seeing the results of the experiment. The development of a vaccine is still a long way off. How can you have the cheek to say that it can prevent viruses? Let me tell you a joke. There is a foreign doctor who uses cow urine to cure all diseases. Let me tell you another joke. There is a Chinese doctor who claims that he can prevent viruses by boiling soup. It's just a small conspiracy theory. Don't tell me she's colluding with a Chinese herbal medicine company to make a profit. The conflicting viewpoints instantly clashed. There were those who supported Xiangyi and those who criticized Xiangyi. Neither side was willing to give in to the other. All of a sudden, the comment section was filled with a foul atmosphere that was unbearable to look at. Xiangyi seemed to have expected such an outcome. She said calmly, Or everyone, just treat this medicinal cuisine as a simple supplement. I've made some adjustments and it tastes okay. The girl's slender and soft fingers tapped gently and she posted the medicinal cuisine recipe that she had sorted out on Weibo. There were detailed instructions on how to choose the ingredients, choose the pots, add the herbs in the order, the time and state of the boiling process, and so on. Everything was perfect. Some people followed the recipe, some scoffed, some mocked, and some even posted the recipe on foreign social media platforms in order to gain popularity. The title was very eye-catching. Oh my god! This is a stupid treatment method from the East. That person exaggerated the name of Chinese medicine and completely misinterpreted the meaning of Xiangyi's recipe. It was as if the translation of husband and wife lung slice was slicing the lungs of the husband and wife. The foreigners who didn't know the truth were confused when they saw the prescription. Oh my god! This is so backward. This isn't treating a disease. It's killing people. Unbelievable. Is China still a primitive society? How can they still believe that boiling water with grass and twigs can cure diseases? Why don't they believe in science? Don't they believe in Western medicine? Western medicine is the greatest and most sacred knowledge in this world. After Xiangyi's recipe went viral overseas, the netizens brought it back to Weibo to gossip. When the netizens saw these comments, they were immediately filled with righteous indignation and criticized Xiangyi for bringing shame to traditional Chinese medicine. Some even criticized Xiangyi for tarnishing the reputation of Hua Nation's medical community. The years of hard work of countless seniors in our country's medical field have all been destroyed. Medicinal cuisine to prevent viruses? That's absurd. What a joke. It wasn't traditional Chinese medicine that was misleading people, but Xiangyi. It wasn't traditional Chinese medicine that was misleading people, but Xiangyi. In the past, we were mocked as the sick men of East Asia. Now, are we going to be mocked for being backward in medicine? Xiangyi, oh, Xiangyi. Haven't you made enough money in the entertainment industry? Why do you still want to taint the pure land of the medical world? Being a doctor is a profession that saves lives and heals the injured, not a tool for you to chase after false fame. Xiangyi, who was originally on the hot search list, was instantly drawn into the whirlpool of public opinion. And not only was she unaffected, but she was still asleep on the sofa. She was sleeping soundly and her breathing was shallow and even. Xiao Naofu, who had always been mischievous, sensed her fatigue and obediently laid beside her. It curled its little tail around her finger and soon began snoring. Little Shiji laid on the carpet beside the sofa and fell asleep with Xiao Naofu's favorite salted fish toy in his arms. The room was quiet and filled with the fragrance of herbs. Sure Sui. She slowly took out her crochet needle and calmly began knitting a new hair clip. The netizens were dumbfounded. Chapter 667. Is this still the refined, abstinent, aloof Sure Sui? You're too proficient in hooking the hairpin. Even Li Jianyu was stunned. In the viewfinder, Sure Sui's long and slender fingers were hooking the hairpin skillfully. He flipped it up and down, and soon, the outline of a rabbit's ear was vaguely visible. Li Jianyu muttered to himself, "Is this Daddy sure? He's so strong and terrifying." The netizens watching the live stream had mixed feelings. His skills. Do you need needles? It's such a pity that such beautiful hands aren't used to knit sweaters. I always thought that Sure Sui was the only one who could sew haute couture clothes and luxury wristwatches. I never thought that one day, I'd be sewn with needles. Weave. Hair. Card. I wanted to criticize Xiangyi, but why does she look so cute even when she's asleep? Damn. I can't criticize her anymore. I'd better follow Sure Sui and knit the hairpin together. Yes, we're just so shameless. Spicy Tutu also noticed that Xiangyi was exhausted. He must be exhausted. She fell asleep as soon as she hit the bed. She looks like a worker who has worked overtime. Sister E is so pitiful. She gets criticized for everything she does, but some keyboard warriors, what have you done? I want to ask those who criticize Sister E, don't you have a heart? She rushed to the front line of the epidemic as soon as possible and treated the patients without rest. She's also the biggest contributor to the cure plan. What else do you want? Why are you holding Sister E to the standards of a saint and holding yourself to the standards of a slut? They really felt sorry for Xiangyi. The internet magnified the malice and hostility of people, and ordinary people would feel terrible after being criticized. Xiangyi had been criticized by the entire internet for such a long time. Prejudice and haters would always exist, and there were too many times that they felt powerless. However, they also wanted to work harder for her sake and make their voices carry more weight so that more people could hear them. In that case, they might be able to change something, right? As for the foodie fans, they chose to support Xiangyi in the simplest and most straightforward way. That night, there were people sharing their medicinal cuisine on various social media platforms. There were dark cuisines that overturned cars and fed to dogs, but the dogs wouldn't eat them. There were also some that were exquisitely decorated. Just looking at them would make people drool. The most popular one was the daily vlog of a food blogger. Today, we're going to make the medicinal cuisine shared by Sister E. I've already bought the herbs and ingredients. Here's the list. The blogger had a habit of keeping accounts. He showed the purchase list to the camera, and every item was clearly marked. I saw a lot of netizens scolding her for being a money grubber. To be honest, this medicinal cuisine recipe is the most conscientious I've ever seen. Ordinary medicinal cuisine can easily cost hundreds of yuan. If you add some expensive medicinal herbs, it will be even more expensive. But when I followed Xiangyi's prescription, I only spent a little more than 100. Anyway, I feel that it's really worth it to spend 100 yuan to nourish the body, regardless of whether it can prevent the virus. After the blogger was done with his long-winded speech, he fast-forwarded the cooking process and skipped to the final stage. The pot is ready. I can already smell the aroma. It's so fragrant. I'm starting to suspect that this isn't a medicinal cuisine but Buddha jumps over the wall. A bullet comment flashed past. Heh, how much did the blogger charge Xiangyi for a medicinal cuisine recipe? She's bragging to the heavens. The next second, the lid of the pot was lifted, and the rising steam gathered, creating a vast expanse of white. A few seconds later, everyone could clearly see what was inside the pot. Chapter 668. A few seconds later, the camera focused and everyone could see what was inside the casserole. Unlike the dark Chinese medicine that he had imagined, the soup in the pot was surprisingly bright and clean. Wow, just by looking at the color, I can tell that this soup is going to taste terrible, the blogger exclaimed excitedly. He used a spoon to flip the ingredients at the bottom of the casserole, only to see that they had all been stewed until soft and tender. It was extremely appetizing. Gulp. The clear sound of the blogger swallowing his saliva could be heard in the video. I'm not afraid of you laughing at me, but I've recorded so many food videos, and sometimes I get tired of them too. The blogger rubbed his head at the camera and smiled honestly. I don't even have an appetite for delicacies. Haha, doesn't it sound a little like Versailles literature? While talking, he nimbly scooped up the residue of a few Chinese medicinal herbs. But today, this medicinal cuisine is no exaggeration. It really makes me hungry. How should he describe it? It was the kind of taste that he hadn't tasted in a long time. Although it was very simple and plain, just smelling it made him hungry. He wanted to pick up the bowl and chopsticks and finish 2 bowls of rice. Real-time pop-up comments, that's a little exaggerated. Keep acting, keep acting. Self-media bloggers these days are really going to die if they don't do sponsored partnerships. So be it. At least don't make it so disgusting, right? Anyway, just hearing the name Xiangyi makes me want to vomit. In the next second, the blogger scooped up the residue of the Chinese medicinal herbs and eagerly scooped a bowl into a white porcelain bowl. He didn't even bother to pick up a spoon and simply took a sip. He froze on the spot. The netizens were confused. What's going on? Is the network lagging? Why is the video still? For a moment, the pop-up comments were filled with question marks. After a full 10 seconds, the audience finally saw the vlogger's eyeballs move a little. His pupils dilated and his mouth was slightly agape. He was obviously extremely shocked. What the F***CK? He couldn't help but curse. His voice was shockingly loud. This is 2F** King Delicious ah. The audience was confused. Earphone fans died on the spot. Oh my god, that shout almost sent me away. You don't even need to think to know that it's all an act. Come on, does it matter if you haven't drunk it before? It tastes no different from poison, right? But looking at her expression, it really doesn't look like she's acting. And I'm hungry from watching the video QAQ. I've already ordered an abalone pork belly chicken soup delivery. Really, I'm not lying to you. If I lied to you, I'll cut off my penis to atone for my sins. The blogger was extremely intoxicated. He held the bowl and gulped it down in one gulp. Even though the heat made him grimace in pain, he was still grinning from ear to ear. Thus, the scene became rather strange. The man was so hot that his mouth and eyes were crooked, and his facial features were distorted, but he was still laughing wildly, as if he was having a seizure. It was the kind that could scare children to tears at any moment. In the next second, something even more shocking happened. Blogger. Friends in front of the screen, cheers. He actually picked up the clay pot and gulped it down. Schwa. The originally sparse bullet screen suddenly became densely packed. Young hero, you have such strong arms. Is this the legendary heartless iron mouth? Big brother, you're just doing sponsored partnerships to clear your name. You don't have to work so hard. Are you trying to torture him or something? That night, a creepy video began to circulate all over the internet. It was called, Contemporary Food Blogger Rewarded for Bewitching Behavior. Chapter 669. Countless curious netizens clicked on the video, only to see an impactful scene. Viewers and friends, I'll drink first. Immediately afterward, the food blogger picked up the casserole pot and gulped it down. Coupled with strong rhythmic music and all kinds of gory material. Although the video was nonsensical, it made people laugh from beginning to end. While the netizens were laughing, they didn't forget to like, forward, and share it. The popularity of the video grew, and it even set a record of 10 million views in one night. The next day, as soon as the food blogger woke up, he turned on his phone sleepily, ready to interact with his fans. But in an instant, the red number of new fans on the screen entered his sight. A plus 498754. He shuddered and instantly sobered up. After all, he had only about 1 million fans in total. But just last night, his number had increased by almost 500,000. What was going on? Was there a bug in the platform he had signed with? Trembling, he clicked on the various data and finally understood what had happened. It turned out that the video he had posted yesterday had gone viral. At the same time, all kinds of review videos popped up like bamboo shoots after a rain. In the age of the internet, there was no shortage of people who wanted to ride on the hype, nor was there a shortage of people who wanted to watch the fun. Let's see how delicious Xiangyi's medicinal cuisine is. Shocking! Xiangyi's medicinal cuisine recipe is too awesome. Sister Yi's medicinal cuisine is so good. I'll take a sip in a pot. Sister Yi is a fake. All the netizens were confused. Weren't they all scolding Xiangyi yesterday? Why did the wind change today? Heh, could it be that they were all paid? The netizens who didn't believe it clicked on a video. Teske, it's just Lazo. Heh, it must be an act. Ha! Why does it feel a little delicious? F***CK. Ah, I'm starving. Why is every video here? Is it delicious? Countless netizens really enjoyed it. The public opinion changed from Xiangyi is slandering Chinese medicine and selling medicine for money to who cares if it's effective or not, it's fine as long as it's delicious. Moreover, because the ingredients and herbs were cheap and the recipe was extremely detailed, many people followed the trend. There were more and more bootlicking comments on the internet. She cooked an entire pot, but I haven't tasted it yet. Everyone at home has already shared it. It's really delicious. I have mild anorexia, but Xiangyi's medicinal cuisine is amazing. Not only does it whet my appetite, but it's also delicious. I feel like my anorexia has been cured without treatment. I don't know if it's because of psychological reasons, but after Grandma stewed a pot of it last night, she said she felt much better after drinking it this morning. She was coughing a little at first, but it's completely stopped now. The manner. Li Jianyu scrolled through Weibo in a daze. There was a flood of good reviews. Those who praised Sister Yi simply couldn't wait to praise her and her medicinal cuisine. Sister Yi can't really have some kind of miraculous magic, can she? He muttered to himself in a daze. Ruan Qing held a cup of coffee and smiled like a flower. Some people's light can't be blocked. Because Sister Yi was destined to shine brightly. Destined to shine brightly. No matter how many people with ulterior motives wanted to drag her into the endless abyss, it would be meaningless. But that medicinal cuisine seems to be really useful. Last night, Sister Yi fell asleep and Dad sure gave me a bowl. My waist doesn't ache anymore, my legs don't hurt anymore, and my breathing is especially smooth. Li Jianyu teased. Seems like this medicine is quite effective as a placebo. Medically speaking, placebos had no therapeutic effect. Chapter 670. It was just a form of comfort and could be called a fake medicine. Li Jianyu naturally believed in Xiangyi's medical skills. The fact that a pot of medicinal cuisine could prevent the virus was beyond his knowledge since he was a child. In his opinion, one had to take medicine, get injections, or be put on an intravenous drip. Ruan Qing took a sip of coffee and said leisurely, I think this medicinal cuisine is indeed effective. Ha! No way, honey, this doesn't make sense at all. Who are you calling your wife? Ha! Ruan Qing raised her eyebrows. Li Jianyu immediately chickened out. I was wrong, I'm guilty, I'll kneel down. Ruan Qing smiled and said, wait a minute, the durian I bought online will be here soon. Li Jianyu was speechless. Jokes aside, Ruan Qing analyzed seriously. What do you think of Sister Yi's art? Of course it's good. Otherwise, she wouldn't have joined the team of experts. Actually, I don't have a clear understanding of her medical skills. However, I don't believe in her medical skills, but in her as a person. Let me ask you, when has she ever disappointed anyone? Li Jianyu was stunned. In retrospect, be it her culinary skills, sanxian, traditional Chinese medicine, or martial arts, Xiangyi had always surprised others. A bold idea suddenly surfaced in his mind, and he felt as if his blood was rushing to his head. Can this medicinal cuisine really prevent the virus? Wouldn't that be at least 1 or 2 years ahead of vaccines? If that's true, Li Zhenyu didn't dare to think further. Xiangyi had a long sleep. She didn't even go for her morning exercise. She only woke up when it was almost noon. As soon as she went out, she saw Shi Sui playing with Xiao Naofu and little Shiji in the courtyard. The game was very simple. Shi Sui raised his hand and threw a tennis ball, while little Shiji bounced around to pick it up. The variable was Xiao Naofu. The kitten's legs were short and fat. It wanted to play the game, but its stamina couldn't keep up. Hence, it rode on little Shiji. In the live stream, the netizens were watching with great interest. Xiao Naofu on top and little Shiji on the bottom. Dog. The fur on Xiao Naofu's head is all messed up. I can rub 10 of such kittens in a day. Shuringdi looks so handsome even when he's throwing a ball. The child in my stomach is about to have a new father. Hearing footsteps, Shi Sui turned around. The girl was wearing furry home clothes. Perhaps because she had just woken up, she looked a little confused. Did you sleep well? He asked gently. Xiang Yi nodded. I've finally made up for it. During this period of time, the little girl was indeed exhausted. There were a few days when she almost didn't sleep or rest. Even her iron body couldn't take it. Shi Sui, what's next? Do we still need to go to the West Continent? He didn't have the heart to wake her up when he saw her sleeping so soundly last night. Little Shiji returned with the ball in its mouth. Xiangyi squatted down and stroked little Shiji's and Xiao Naofu's heads before throwing the ball far away. Little Shiji carried Xiao Naofu and chased after the ball. There's no need. The epidemic has stabilized. If there's any problem, we can just video call. The little girl said nonchalantly, as if she had just done something trivial in the past few days. Hearing the girl's calm tone, someone in the live stream retorted. I think she might have been kicked out of the team of experts because she's not competent enough. Foreign experts have said that if this epidemic occurs overseas, the medical system will collapse. Where does Xiangyi get her confidence from? Does she think that our medical standards are better than those overseas? Chapter 671. To be honest, all the experts are still fighting in the West Continent. You, the youngest one, came back just like that. What's the difference between you and a deserter on the battlefield? You deserve it. The netizens' dissatisfaction mostly stemmed from some subtle jealousy. How old is Xiangyi? She's only 20 years old. What right does she have to be an all-rounder and be adored by everyone? Even her medical skills rank first among the top experts in the country. This is ridiculous. Hence, they were desperately looking for excuses to prove that Xiangyi was just Ozo. All-rounder? Ha, she's just average. Adored by everyone? Ha, it's obviously an act. The whole family is working together to create hype. There are clearly so many unfortunate families in the world. Number 1 on the medical contribution list? Ha, it's just Grandpa paving the way for her. How can she be better than a well-respected old doctor? In the manner. Shi Sui didn't ask much. Instead, she gently pinched the plush ball on the girl's home clothes and said, Sister Yi, it's been hard on you. Welcome home. The light fell on him with incredible gentleness. Xiangyi felt as if a feather had brushed past her heart, making her feel numb and ticklish. So it's true that the same words are said by different people. I'll have a different state of mind. Xiangyi cleared her throat, her milky white face full of seriousness. I won't make you wait so long in the future. Shi Sui chuckled and said, Okay, Sister Yi, you're good. As she spoke, she put a newly knitted hair clip on the girl's hair. The white bunny ears were circled with pink wool. They were cute, soft, and much more exquisite than the first one she knitted. It didn't look like something she had just knitted. Xiangyi touched it with her hand, but she couldn't see it herself. Hence, she tilted her head and asked the cameraman, Old Zhang, does this look good? The experienced old Zhang's hands trembled violently. No one would be able to withstand such a critical blow from his peerless beauty. The fans in front of the screen were even more so. For a moment, the comment section was filled with excitement. Nice. Xiang Yi, you're the prettiest in the universe. Bunny with rabbit ears. Amazing. Amazing. Even covering my mouth couldn't stop me from screaming. Has Shuringdi really only been learning for a few days? The lousy students are crying. Is this man's learning talent so strong? Questioning voices would not be late. The medical staff is bleeding and crying on the front line, but you're at home being lovey-dovey? You really don't treat other medical staff as human beings, do you? A kind reminder, you've already embarrassed yourself overseas. If you have time, I suggest you check out the foreign websites to see how much Chinese medicine has been slandered because of you. First, you boasted that the treatment plan is at the top of the contribution list, and now you're saying that a pot of soup can prevent viruses. Miss Young, why don't you ride the wind and soar to the skies? Suddenly, a staff member hurriedly ran over. Sister E, hurry up and change your clothes. Xiangyi guessed. Is there a guest? No. The staff member had not recovered from his panic and stammered. So many people. There were also the media and reporters. I heard that there might be a live stream. The haters in the live stream perked up when they heard this. This staff member is so flustered. It's definitely not a good thing. Seems like he's here to expose Xiangyi's true colors. Indeed, if one's virtue doesn't match their position, there's bound to be trouble. Chapter 672. Is she trying to show off and fail? How satisfying. Finally, someone can deal with her. She's a deserter and she's stealing credit. She should be criticized. A group of people were criticizing her as if Xiangyi had already been nailed to the pillar of shame. The Spicy Tutu fans, on the other hand, began to speculate curiously. Did your IQ run away from home? Is it really that easy to fool an official matchmaker? Wow, let me make a bold guess. Are they here to give Sister E a little red flag? After all, our E-Mei is a warm-hearted citizen, Miss Yang. I also think they're here to praise Sister E. After all, Sister E has made such a great contribution. Some haters are just blind. They only see what they want to see and believe what they want to believe. It is the essence. Sister, there's no book for you in the bookstore. I'm going to smash the bookstore. Li Jianyu was also a little confused and worried that something bad would happen. Just as he was about to go talk to them himself, Xiangyi casually tied her hair into a bun and said calmly, "Don't panic, I'll go take a look." The staff member asked, "Why am I being comforted by Sister E? Is there something wrong?" Shui said, "I'll go with you." Hence, the two of them walked leisurely towards the main entrance like an old couple taking a stroll. Everyone at the scene was speechless. The netizens watching the live stream were also speechless. Both of them had excellent body proportions, and from the back, they looked like big shots. Also, so sweet, so sweet. The feeling of facing everything together, no matter what the road ahead was really heart-wrenching. At the main entrance, OU Fujimoto climbed up the black iron gate. Through the fence, he could vaguely see the cars and people gathered outside. The door opened automatically. Hearing the sound, the reporters outside quickly set up their cameras as if they were on a battlefield. Their movements were neat and uniform, and all of them were aimed at Xiangyi. Li Jianyu and the others, who were following behind, saw this scene and were a little confused. Li Jianyu was in a trance. Why do I feel like Daddy Sure is outdated? In the live stream, Sister Shui made fun of herself. Be more confident, get rid of your feelings. After all, our Shui is a gigolo. Seeing that Shui is finally living off a woman, his old mother shed tears of relief. The other netizens were speechless. What's going on? Other than Spicy Tutu, was there another Shui sister among the abnormal fans in the fan circle? For a moment, I don't know if you guys are real fans or not. But soon, everyone's attention was attracted by the reporter's voice. Sister E, look at how thin you've become. I smell the aroma. Sister E, I have a colleague who wants to try your cooking. Bah! Shameless. The colleague you're talking about is yourself. Sister E, don't listen to him. I'm fine with the leftovers. His words, which were as intimate as daily life, subverted everyone's imagination. Some netizens recognized that many of them were famous reporters from major television stations. Whether it was in terms of professionalism or popularity, they were impeccable. In the past, when they interviewed others, most of them were very aloof. But today it was Sister E. Why are they so affectionate? Xiangyi nodded slightly and insisted, Hello, Miss Yang. As soon as the bespectacled man in the middle of the crowd spoke, the surroundings quietened down. Sorry to disturb you, we're the reporters who previously agreed to do a joint interview with you. We received the news a few minutes ago. May I ask, how do you feel about being selected as the National Hero of the Year? Chapter 673. Be it the live audience or the netizens in front of the screen, they were all stunned. What did I just hear? National Meritorious Minister of the Year. Although they didn't know what this award was, with the word national in front of it, it sounded very impressive. In the live stream, what the F***CK? What's going on? Huh? These people aren't here to criticize Sister E, but to praise Sister E? I went to search. This award is so F***king impressive. Simply put, the winners are all people who have made great contributions to the country. I'll give you two simple examples. One of the winners last time was a Nobel Prize laureate, while the other achieved a global breakthrough in the field of materials. The live stream was in an uproar. What was the most ruthless slap to the face? It wasn't a slap, but a casual slap. From beginning to end, the other party didn't take them seriously, but they wished they could slap themselves a few times. The netizens who had been arguing non-stop were all dumbfounded at this moment. At the venue, Xiaofan was slightly stunned and said humbly, "It's an honor, but I don't deserve it." The refined reporter pushed his glasses up his nose bridge and said with a smile, "No, I think you deserve it." As everyone knows, Miss Xiang discovered an ancient prescription for dealing with the epidemic in an unpopular medical book and made ingenious improvements to it, which made the treatment plan possible. The netizens were speechless. Previously, the morning news report was not detailed enough. In fact, the TV station wanted to do an exclusive interview, but they didn't expect that due to some people's biased understanding, it would lead to a misunderstanding. Now the reporter's words had undoubtedly clarified for Xiaofan. Furthermore, he had clearly stated her contributions. She was the one who discovered the ancient prescription and improved it. If she wasn't first on the list of contributions to the treatment plan, who else could be first? That wasn't the end of it. The other reporters asked one after another. "Sister E, what do you think of the role of Chinese medicine and Western medicine in this epidemic?" "Sister E, your preventive medicinal diet has been tested in clinical trials, and it has been confirmed that it has a 90% chance of being effective. How did you come up with this idea?" "Sister E, the epidemic in the West continent has subsided in less than half a month. The experts all said that it was all thanks to you that you could come back and rest. Are you still planning to go back?" One question after another was like a powerful fist, hitting the bar spirit's face from all angles. Countless people in front of their screens were speechless. Therefore, the treatment plan was discovered and innovated by Xiaofan, and it was ranked first on the contribution list. The preventive diet was invented and promoted by Xiaofan, and it was really effective. Saying that he was a deserter was even more groundless. He didn't want to return. It was the experts who begged Xiaofan to come back and rest. The girl, who was dressed in home clothes and looked like a little sister next door, answered the question calmly. "There are boundaries in science, but there are no boundaries in medicine. Chinese medicine is good at grasping the whole, and Western medicine is good at precise treatment. If we can combine them, I think we can save more people's health." Medicinal diets have a long history in our country. Not only can they nourish the body and strengthen the immune system, but they can also treat and prevent some mild diseases. However, it's important to note that medicinal diets are not omnipotent. If you fall sick, you must see a doctor. Remember that. As for the West continent, of course I'll go there. The girl's eyes curved. When everything is settled, I want to try all the delicacies in the West continent. Chapter 674. Xiaofan's answer was gentle and gentle, neither servile nor overbearing. She quickly won the favor of the viewers in the live stream. What kind of treasure is this girl? Cack. I suddenly realized that Xiaofan's EQ is quite high. Ah, our kid is awesome. Baby, you're mama's pride. I'm from Xi continent, and to be honest, I'm tired of hearing other people say that they hope Xi continent will get better soon, but Sister Yi's words about wanting to taste all the delicacies in Xi continent are so offensive. At the same time, the official live stream was also in progress. Dressed in pink and white home clothes and wearing a knitted tutu earring hairpin, Xiaofan was extremely adorable to the viewers, be it when she answered the interview seriously or when she smiled. We all know that Miss Xiang has posted the recipe for the medicinal cuisine on Weibo, but the audience on Weibo may be young people. I hope that through this interview, Sister E can publicize the recipe again so that more elderly people can benefit from it. Xiaofan nodded solemnly. You're right. Nowadays, the internet was developing rapidly, but the elderly seemed to have been abandoned by the times. Many elderly people didn't know how to pay with their mobile phones, use navigation software, or even use WeChat. Not to mention browsing Weibo and recording recipes. Other media outlets also recorded the interview with cameras and voice recorders, so as to create the widest influence possible through more channels. After all, that was what the media should be doing. Under the expectant gazes of the crowd, Xiangyi cleared her throat and slowly said in a voice that was several times louder than before. Uncle, Auntie, Grandpa, Grandma, can you hear me? The live stream viewers, earphone fans died on the spot. Xiangyi is toxic, why is she shouting? My ears are hurting. Those in front, you have hands and feet, can't you turn down the volume yourself? Sister E is obviously afraid that some elderly people won't know how to turn down the volume and won't be able to hear her clearly. No one said anything else. Instead, in many families across the country, gray-haired elderly people responded to Xiangyi. Okay, I heard her. I heard her, I heard her. This girl's voice is really loud. It sounds good. The little girl deliberately slowed down her speech and was extremely patient. She explained every ingredient and medicinal herb clearly. The reporters felt her kindness and all of them laughed silently. The official TV station also made an exception and extended the broadcast time for her. The channel was cold, but the people behind the channel could feel the warmth. Sometimes, exceptions were needed. After Xiangyi finished speaking, she repeated it briefly and asked loudly, "Do you remember it?" In the live stream, the hostility was gone. Instead, it was replaced by positive comments. Remember. Please praise me. Ha 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 ha, my grandma is listening so seriously. She even wrote it down in a notebook. In the past, I didn't realize that my father had a hearing problem. He was afraid of affecting us, so he always turned the volume down and watched the news expressionlessly. Today, when I saw him smile at Xiangyi, I realized that he could only hear Xiangyi's voice clearly. I'm going to bring him for a physical examination in the afternoon. The interview came to an end. Last question, Sister E, what do you want to say to your family? Unknowingly, the reporter who called her Miss Xiang also called her Sister E. Chapter 675. The fair-skinned girl blinked her long black eyelashes. I don't seem to have anything to say. A few bickering comments appeared in the live stream. Oh, you're not going to F***ck your group's pet persona anymore. Now that you're famous, you've forgotten about your family. Let's be honest, can you get to where you are today without your family? Who would care about you? I'm dying of laughter. However, Xiangyi's next sentence was, I basically video call my family every day. If everyone is free, I'll also video call them together in the group chat. The Xiang family was much closer than ordinary families. Her grandparents, uncles, and brothers doted on Xiangyi, and it was never a one-sided relationship. Xiangyi would occasionally scroll through funny videos or read interesting books. Whenever she made a new dish, she would immediately share it with her family. The trolls? Sorry for the interruption. When will the live stream have a retraction function? If you can't come home often, then contact me often. The girl faced the camera with a faint smile. A hint of a smile flashed across the refined reporter's eyes behind his glasses. He suddenly understood the reason why those experts doted on her. Which elder wouldn't love a gentle and sensible girl like her? Then that's it for the interview. He was about to end the process when the girl suddenly said, But I have something to say to him. The girl held Shui's hand, and under the latter's slightly surprised gaze, she said shyly but firmly, I've always missed you. The man's eyes were deep and dark in an instant. Subconsciously, he grabbed the girl's slender wrist. His big hand held her small hand, their fingers intertwined. Ahem, that's it. Xiangyi looked at the camera. This isn't off topic, because he's also my family. Bang, bang, bang. Shui felt as if someone had set off a large fireworks display in his heart, causing his emotions to surge and explode in an overwhelming manner. His upbringing was the complete opposite of Xiangyi's. The relationship between the Shui family members was indifferent, and he was also very estranged from his biological parents. Father Shui's love for Mother Shui was passionate and grand, but also crazy and paranoid. Father Shui had a strong sense of possessiveness. In the beginning, he only restricted Mother Shui from making friends and going out. Later on, because of some mental illness, he directly restricted Mother Shui from going out. This was what civilization said. From a legal point of view, It was a violation of personal freedom. The differences between the parents were getting bigger and bigger. Every day, the house was filled with the sounds of quarreling, crying, and things being smashed. At that time, Shui's biggest wish was to have no family. But now, the gentle and soft girl was blushing from her ears to her neck. She was obviously embarrassed, but she still expressed her feelings in front of everyone and the camera. He wasn't just a boyfriend. It was his family. For the first time, Shui felt the beauty of this word. Yes, he responded in a low voice. His voice was hoarse and mixed with some inexplicable emotions. He was clearly happy. I miss you too. All the reporters. Who would have thought that such a positive interview still couldn't escape the fate of being eaten dog food? Okay, thank you Sister E for accepting our interview. I wish Sister E and your family happiness and health forever. The refined reporter closed with a smile. In the live broadcast room, the CP fans couldn't help but celebrate. I don't care, I don't care. This is the official satellite TV testifying to untimely couples' marriage. Chapter 676. Hello everyone, I'm the Civil Affairs Bureau. I'm here. Hello everyone, I'm the flower boy. I'm scattering flowers online. Heartsuit. Hello everyone, I'm Yulao. I announce that the red string between these two has been locked. I've swallowed the key. They must be together for the rest of their lives. The interview came to an abrupt end when Shui and Xiangyi looked at each other and smiled. However, the live broadcast was still ongoing. Thus, the audience in the live broadcast room discovered. The professional reporters, who had been busy just a moment ago, gave Xiangyi a simple and honest smile. Some of the more timid ones were so scared that they trembled. What's going on? This scene is too much like a zombie movie. Everyone was too embarrassed to speak first. In the end, it was the refined reporter who said what everyone was thinking. Ahem, Sister E, it's almost time for dinner. We've prepared some ingredients, I wonder if we can. The Chinese language was broad and profound. The appropriate amount of blankness created an indescribable effect. Xiangyi immediately understood. Everyone has worked hard. Why don't you stay for a meal? The atmosphere suddenly became familiar and cheerful. Okay, thank you, Sister E. Sister E, don't worry, I'll definitely only eat one bowl of rice. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Sister E, I'll help you feed the pigs. What are you doing? Snatch the job. Let me tell you, I'll make it clear. I'll fight anyone who tries to snatch the job from me. The netizens. Fine, they were used to it. Sister Yi's routine was over. The refined reporter smiled and said, Thank you for your hospitality then. The group entered the manor. Even though many people had watched the live broadcast, they were still shocked by the picturesque scenery of the countryside. There was a glass greenhouse, a large vegetable field, chickens, ducks, pigs, and geese, as well as a small rabbit farm in the distance. It was simply a place where the gods lived. The group of reporters rolled up their sleeves and rolled up their trousers, working very smoothly. The large yard became lively. The reporters had brought a lot of ingredients. After some thought, Xiangyi moved the barbecue grill that she hadn't used in a long time to the yard and began to process the ingredients. The meat was marinated with eggs, starch, salt, oyster sauce and so on. She also specially marinated spicy and pickled pepper. Shrimp paste, chopped, mixed with cooking wine, egg white, bean powder, and a small amount of white sugar. The vegetables were washed and neatly arranged in white or wooden utensils, to form a harmonious color. In addition, he took a 9-grit electric hot pot and skewered the fresh hand-beaten beef balls, fish balls, kelp, tofu, and other wooden skewers delivered by Little Rabbit Farm in the morning. After adjusting the taste of the soup base, it instantly defeated the odin from the convenience store. The fragrance filled the air, and not long after, the sound of saliva being swallowed could be heard everywhere. Woo-woo, this is too fragrant. I can't stop drooling. Is this how Sister E cooking? It's terrifying. The little girl she thinking thought she's down, the refined reporter asked curiously. Sister E, what's troubling you? Why don't you tell us? We can help you think of a solution. 3 cobblers are better than zhuge liang. Not to mention there were so many of them. I'm thinking about what to make for the main dish. After a pause, the girl's gaze fell on the chicken coop. I've already thought of it. It's just those chickens. I think they have low blood sugar. The refined reporter? Xiangyi said sadly, Looks like I'll have to add more sugar when I fry them. The Refined Reporter? Chapter 677. The audience's reaction was exactly the same as that of the refined reporters. Little kid, are you as confused as I am? Chicken, oh. Are you listening? Speak. Adding sugar while frying is okay. Sister E, are you trying to make me laugh to death so you can inherit my summer homework? The bullet screen was filled with heartache for the chicken. Xiangyi caught the chicken at lightning speed. The scene of killing the chicken was too gory, so the cameraman didn't film it. By the time the shot was taken again, the chickens were already in a row and lying cleanly on the chopping board. The situation immediately changed. Chicken bro, have a safe journey, candle candle candle. A family should be neat and tidy. Dog head. So cruel. Sister E, can you send me a copy when you're done? I'm different. Sister E, tell me where your house is. I can send myself over for a meal. In the kitchen. Xiangyi was going to make rock and roll fried chicken today. This dish is very simple to cook. Everyone can try it. Xiangyi heated up the oil in the pot while interacting with the audience. After the oil was heated, she first added ginger slices and stir-fried them until they were fragrant. Then, she added the peppercorns to make the sauce smell. Finally, she added the small pieces of chicken. The soul of the rock and roll fried chicken, sweet sauce, was naturally indispensable. The girl's movements were neat, and her slender body had great explosive power. From time to time, she would toss the ladle. The audience cheered, "I can do it, I can do it." After stir-frying the chicken until the water evaporated, she added bone broth to the pot, brought it to a boil, and simmered it over low heat. Finally, she added green pepper, small pepper, onion, and rock sugar to add a rich spiciness and freshness. After stir-frying it evenly, it was ready to serve. In the yard, the reporters had already eaten barbecue and oden. Xiangyi's special sauce was unanimously praised. This chili powder is amazing. It's worthy of being a super chili cultivated by a scientific research institute. Sister E actually knows how to make sauce? God, is there anything she can't do? The oden is 10,000 times better than the ones I buy at the convenience store. The meatballs are so fresh. Sure enough, the most high-end ingredients only require the simplest cooking techniques. Everyone couldn't stop praising her. They couldn't wait to write an 800-word press release to prove how delicious Xiangyi's condiments and meatballs were. Until a strong fragrance drifted along with the wind to the tip of everyone's nose. The actions of the group of people were like copy and paste, and they all turned to the source of the fragrance. He saw Xiangyi walking out of the kitchen with a big basin. Someone in the live stream commented, "She's a guest, isn't it a little inappropriate to put her in a basin? You should at least put it on a plate." This comment was quickly rebutted. Watch if you want, get lost if you don't. Do you know why Xiao Ming's grandmother can live to the age of 80? Because his grandmother never meddles in other people's business. It must have been hard for you to grow up to this age. It's a miracle that you haven't been beaten to death after so long. This wave of attacks from the foodie fans instantly shut down the haters. Most of the time, foodie fans were very passive, but there was one exception. It was mealtime. Arguing at such a time was even more infuriating than throwing away their milk tea or throwing away their fried chicken. At this time, the young girl's clear and sweet voice, like the sound of nature, clearly passed into everyone's ears. The rock and roll fried chicken is here. In an instant. Countless people in front of the screen, like swordsmen drawing their swords, solemnly, they pulled out their chopsticks. Chapter 678. The camera zoomed in on the steaming hot rock fried chicken in the pot. The chicken was tender and fragrant. The broth was thick and the fried chicken was bright red, matching the color of the onions and green peppers. A thin layer of white sesame seeds was sprinkled on top. Just one look was enough to whet one's appetite. There was nothing fancy about it. There were only 3 words to describe it. Fragrant. Hungry. Gluttonous. Gulp. In front of the screen, many people had already begun to swallow their saliva. The reporters in the courtyard weren't any better as their eyes were glued to the dish. The main dishes are rice and stewed noodles, Xiangyi added. The stewed noodles can be eaten like the big plate chicken and mixed with the broth at the end. Recalling the way to eat the big plate chicken, everyone felt that the deliciousness of this rock-fried chicken had risen to another level. The refined reporter had the most experience. He said, "Everyone, let's dig in." The group of reporters, like hungry wolves, picked up their chopsticks and picked up the chicken pieces. The most important feeling when the chicken was in the mouth was its tenderness. The faint fragrance of the sauce wrapped around the chicken. It was slightly sweet in the mouth, but the aftertaste was rich with layers of salty and spicy. The broth had completely soaked into the meat, and with one bite, it felt like the juices were about to burst. Paired with the steamed rice, it was no exaggeration to say that half a bowl of rice would be no problem with a mouthful of fried chicken. Paired with a glass of cold beer or cola, it was as if the depths of one's soul began to tremble. Strangely, no one at the table spoke. The only thing the audience could hear was the sound of food being chewed. F***CK. This damned stereo sound. I'm having a great time eating instant noodles in front of the screen. Today's fried chicken is so delicious. Director Lee, come out for a chat. Last time you said you wanted to update the equipment, it was all for the sake of filming food, right? Where's your original intention? Are you here to film a variety show or a mukbang broadcast? Xiangyi knew that Shui's taste was relatively light, so she specially made a light meal for him. The two of them sat at the side and ate the vegetables, enjoying the feeling of peace and quiet. Do you want some soup? Xiangyi asked. I also made seaweed and egg soup. It's in the kitchen. Before Shui could say anything, someone immediately said, I'll get it. How can I let Sister E work for me? The man happily scooped the soup, but Shui's phone suddenly vibrated. He glanced at the caller ID and raised his eyebrows slightly before answering the call. After a few words, the call ended. He looked at Xiangyi and said helplessly, My little nephew has no one to take care of him these 2 days. His parents want to send him over to stay temporarily. Xiangyi had an impression of her little nephew. She had met him during Xiang Yin's 60th birthday banquet. He was a decent and adorable little boy. The little girl had always liked the cubs of all kinds of creatures. Her eyes curved into crescents. Okay, what does he like to eat? I'll make them for him. Shui felt slightly unhappy, but she didn't show it. She said calmly, he's not picky about food. He can eat anything. As he spoke, the staff member led a little boy over and said somewhat helplessly, there was a couple who left the child behind just now. They said they were looking for Shui. Everyone's gaze simultaneously fell on the little boy she was holding. The boy was about 4 or 5 years old. He was delicate, and adorable. He had a head of naturally curly chestnut hair and was wearing a British-style shirt and suspenders. He also had a pair of well-polished leather shoes on his feet. The only thing that was out of place was his expressionless face. Chapter 679. Shui. Xiangyi stood up and called the little boy's name. Shui kept a straight face and nodded like an old man. Hello, Sister Xiangyi. Xiangyi said, Wow, you still remember me. It had been a few months since she had transmigrated to the past when she met Shui. It was rare for a child of his age to be able to accurately call out her name. She walked up to Shui and blinked. Can I hold your hand? Shui obediently placed his little hand in her palm. He secretly glanced at Shui. The man's face darkened visibly. He walked up to Shui. The man had a strong aura and looked over indifferently. Shui braced himself and greeted. Hello, uncle. Shui said. Hello. Then that was it. The uncle and nephew fell into a strange silence. The netizens were speechless. Were these two people biological uncle and nephew? Why did it feel like they were more polite than passers-by? Fortunately, Xiangyi came to the rescue in time and asked gently, Are you hungry? Is there anything you want to eat? The fragrance of rock and roll fried chicken, barbecue, and Odin rushed into Shui's nose crazily. The little boy used all his self-control to control himself and said the words, I want to eat, in a reserved and appropriate manner. Thank you, sister. I've had lunch. Do you want to eat the cake? Do you want to watch cartoons? Or tell you a story? Xiangyi was always very patient with cubs, especially good-looking ones. Shui's clear black and white eyes widened as if he couldn't understand. Was there such a happy thing in the world? He scratched his head uncomfortably and rubbed his eyes. Xiangyi misunderstood these movements. Are you sleepy? Then I'll take you to take a nap, okay? The little boy pretended to be cold, but his voice had the unique tenderness and softness of a child. Okay. Xiangyi held Shi Yu's hand and left. The reporters smiled mischievously and winked. Shiringdi, Sister E is quite good at taking care of children. That's right. When are you going to get married? Should we consider having a second child? After all, the 3-child policy is open now. Gossip was human nature. Even famous reporters were no exception. Shi Sui sneered and did not answer. Children? He did not like it. As for Shi Yu, thinking of Xiangyi's attitude towards him, Shi Sui couldn't help grinding his teeth. In the guest room, the staff brought over a car-shaped suitcase. Shi Yu took out his pajamas and was about to change when he suddenly realized something. He looked up at Xiangyi and pursed his lips in embarrassment. Sister, I want to change my clothes. I'm sorry, I'll leave now. Shi Yu was silent for a few seconds before he carefully made a request that he would never dare to make at home. Sis, can you tell me a bedtime story? Ha! Xiangyi was stunned for a moment before she nodded. Okay, then you can change first. I'll go to the bathroom. Shi Yu's eyes sparkled as if they were filled with stars, but he pretended not to care. Yes, okay. He vaguely looked like Shi Sui. Xiangyi went into the bathroom and called the system in her mind. Help me search for a few fairy tales. Xiangyi ordered the system without any burden. By the way, why have you been so quiet recently? The system was silent for more than 10 seconds. It was so angry that it almost vomited blood. That's because you blocked me. Chapter 680. Xiangyi's expression didn't change. Oh, so that's how it is. System? I'm going to die from anger. I'm really going to die from anger. Although it had a high level of authority as a system, it still had to follow the most basic rules of logic. For example, if the host requested to be blocked or muted, then unless it was a special situation or the host actively called out to it, it could only be infuriated. After being speechless for a while, it said in an aggrieved tone, 10 fairy tales from different planes have been downloaded for you. Loading. Loading complete. Xiangyi was no stranger to receiving information. Soon, 10 fairy tales appeared in her mind out of thin air. She had to admit that the system was quite reliable. The fairy tales it found were more suitable for children, and there were no dark plots like eating children or turning into zombies. Thank you, thank you. Hearing the girl's gentle and polite voice, the little system couldn't help but roll around in the data stream. It had served many hosts before, but they were all especially Ling Yi, who would lie to it. In any case, compared to them, Xiangyi was like the clouds in the sky and the mud on the ground. The new host is so good. She even knows how to say thank you. The little system was delighted when it heard the girl say the cruelest words in the most gentle tone. Continue blocking mode. Thank you. System. Was this what the internet in this plane meant by happy only lasts 3 seconds? Why? Oh. Was it not professional enough? Was it not good enough? It was clearly many times better than that idiot Xiao Naofu. Could it be? It was not as cute as Xiao Naofu? No. The frequency of the data stream fluctuated violently, and it took a long time for it to calm down. After testing the system, Xiangyi had a rough idea of what was going on. What she knew was that the so-called missions issued by the system didn't force her to complete them, and it even took the initiative to go easy on her. Xiao Naofu used to be so close to her, but if she couldn't complete the mission, it would punish her due to the restrictions of the rules. However, after the punishment, Xiao Naofu would cry especially miserably. In addition, the system's tolerance towards her was definitely abnormal. It was as if it wasn't in a hurry for Xiangyi to complete the mission in this world. Shi Yu's appearance interrupted Xiangyi's thoughts. Elder sister. The little boy's voice was clear, and the outline of his round black eyes was soft. However, the corners of his eyes were curved upwards. It could be seen that he was somewhat similar to Shi Sui. When he grew up, he would probably also have affectionate peach blossom eyes. He changed into his blue and white checkered pajamas. Xiangyi felt that the cotton material looked familiar. You want to lie in bed and listen? Or do you want to sit there and listen, and sleep when you're tired? Xiangyi pointed in the direction of the French window. This guest room was facing a good direction. At this time, the sun was shining brightly. The pea-green curtains were pulled open, leaving a layer of lilac lace curtains, sprinkling light into the room. When the wind blew, the light seemed to jump. There was a row of tatami mats on the floor, as well as a soft couch and several pillows. Yu clenched his little fists and resisted the temptation. He said seriously, "Sister, I'll just lie on the bed and listen." But Xiangyi smiled. "I want to listen to a story by the window." Yu's eyes were obviously filled with joy, but he thought that he restrained it well. "All right then, not making things difficult for a virtuous girl is the basic etiquette of a gentleman," he said with his baby fat face. Chapter 681. Xiangyi saw through the little boy's thoughts, but she did not expose him. She pulled Yu to sit down. Yu felt the softness of the sofa, and shock flashed through his young and round eyes. It turned out that there was such a comfortable thing in this world. He thought that this was enough happiness, but he did not expect that in the next second, Xiangyi would hand him a furry blanket and a rabbit doll. "Here for you." Under the sunlight, the exquisite girl was so white that it seemed to glow. Her skin was fair and clear. "Then I'll start talking." Yu nodded stiffly and subconsciously hugged the little rabbit in his arms tightly. Soft. It seemed that everything in Sister Xiangyi's house was soft. Just like her. All of this was something that Yu had never dared to imagine. The sun was warm, and Sister Xiangyi's voice was gentle. Yu did not take long to feel sleepy. Even though he adhered to strict family teachings and paid attention to his sitting posture, he was still young. Not long after, the little ones sank into the cloud-like softness. Prince Lemon found Princess Orange and told her that in this world, every fruit is different, but every fruit is worthy of love. Yu was sleepy, but he still stubbornly asked, "Sister, what if no one likes it?" Xiangyi was deep in thought. For example? For example, Princess Durian. Yu used the fruit he hated the most as an example. His long eyelashes drooped, casting a faint shadow. What if no one in the world likes Princess Durian? Xiangyi was silent for a while and patted his little head. Maybe the prince who likes durian is still far away. If you wait a little longer, he will appear. Yu's long eyelashes trembled. But what if he can't wait? Sister, you can't guarantee that your answer is 100% correct, right? After asking, he regretted it a little. Yu had an ability to express and reason that exceeded his peers. In a sense, he could be called a genius. However, the people around him would always treat him like a child. Even if he could solve a problem that even adults could not solve, he would only receive an impatient sentence from his father. What's the use of solving this? Or they would be treated like monkeys by others. "Yu, come and perform a pie table." When he recited it, those people would often look surprised. "Not bad, you're quite powerful." Then he changed the topic, but he's still a child. Learning so much will spoil his brain. Who knows, I might accidentally become Shang Zhongyong's. You were smart when you were young, but now that you've grown up, you're just like everyone else. There were very few adults who could answer the questions he asked. Whenever they couldn't answer, they would come up with all sorts of excuses to brush him off. Children don't need to know these things. You'll know when you grow up. Go away, don't bother me. You can search for it on your phone and you'll know. Over time, Yu got used to it. He thought that if Sister Xiangyi couldn't answer his question, she would probably be put in a difficult position. She would also be worried about how to answer him perfunctorily. Unexpectedly, Xiangyi cupped her cheeks with her little hands and said in admiration, "Yu, you're so amazing to think of such a problem." He was stunned for a moment. Then, he heard the girl say seriously, "Everyone can have their own opinions and opinions. That's just my answer. What about you, Yu? What's your answer? Can you tell me?"